Woohoo!
That might be a little loud. I'll probably get you to troubleshoot sound. Oh, yeah. It is 420. Happy 420, and what's up, hotheads and political junkies? You're watching Cannabis Culture News Live. It's Friday. It's 420. We're getting started a little late here over at the Pot TV studios. No Boss Alyssa today. She's doing holiday things. Well, we got Miranda here on the boards helping, and we got Neil Magnuson here. Oh, that's me.
TV.
That's me. Oh, you're not there.
What?
That's funny. Look, we're looking at the camera, but Neil's actually not on it.
Wow.
Isn't that mysterious?
Very strange.
But here, if we do this, if we give you this camera instead. Yeah, here, set that up over there. Snooze. No, pick a time. Okay, some other time. Yeah. No, it's not.
Next Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna start it.
I hope you guys
Yeah.
have a great one.
There you go. And so there's Neil. Where is he? There's
Hey, there
Neil.
we are.
Here, push it down a little bit so
Yeah.
it's not so crazy. But there you
Cool.
are.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's a low angle of Neil today. Very low. It's like the Citizen Kane angle. You can see
Makes
up
me
your
look taller,
nostrils. Yeah, you look like
Cool.
ominous over the camera. How you doing, Neil?
Doing really well. Feeling good. Got exciting things going on in Vancouver.
Here's this reindeer.
Yeah, the reindeer.
We got all kinds of Christmas decorations.
All across Canada and
There
you know
are.
what? I mean,
Yeah, lots going on.
I'm just gonna say right off the start that
Hello, Mr.
I
Reindeer.
can't believe that people are being fined
Oh yeah,
large and obscene amount of cash.
definitely obscene.
And I just wanted several people for selling plant.
We haven't talked about that on the show yet. Of course,
I just kind of want to throw that.
yeah. If
Big
you've
news that
tuned in,
Victimless crimes, simply
Yeah.
commercial infractions with respect to licensing. You know, it's
so there's good and bad in the case that was figured out just last week or this week, I guess, and that's the Cannabis Culture 5 case. That was, I think so. Oh, like, is that mic 4? Maybe.
like
No, that one seems a little off. Do you
I
mind
seem to
going
have
and doing?
power, yeah.
Maybe try mic 4 if that one's not working, because his mic is on.
no.
3 and 4. Oh, and the mute buttons, Miranda.
I've been muted. So
That the top has to come off, the little mute button.
No. Hi. Can we see chat?
Yeah, we'll get a chat up here. No, that's kind of strange.
Talk to me.
There
Hi.
it is.
How is everybody?
And Johnny's back.
It's great to finally
Now
talk
you
to
can
you guys
talk.
because you know I love to talk about cannabis. So what I was just mentioning is, and what we're just talking about, and what I was just bringing up was A for one. Happy 421 because the guy was screaming happy 420.
It's calling. Look what it's calling our show right now. The 420 Lifestyle Ladies Night 2.
Wow, ladies' night too.
I don't know how that happened.
Okay,
That's very strange.
So,
but at least you guys. Get
it's
to see
definitely
the-
what's going on right now. This is ladies' night tonight.
I can handle a few, but I don't know about
Yeah.
you guys.
Okay. So, definitely my
Shout out
lady.
to
My
Roxanne.
lady
I'm not handling
was
nobody but you, baby.
Yeah. Same with me. Yeah, we're all going on here.
Yeah,
like
just-
my
just
lady,
the
Joe's
ladies
got
here.
his ladies.
Yeah.
Our ladies,
I think I might not be able to fix that during the show, but I definitely will be able to fix it after the show.
There'll be a whole new audience. To find
So,
us today.
just so you know, today me and Jar
should be
are
able to
out on
change
ladies' night.
Yeah, that's right.
What are we doing, dude?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh? I got my high heels.
Sounds interesting. Yeah. You got your high heels, do you?
Got my high heels.
I think you have a different interpretation of Lady Night from the rest of us, John.
Probably.
Okay, so
What are you smoking on, Johnny?
something that was sitting in front of you from Cannabis Culture's little dab
Oh,
lounge.
this is
I helped
curated,
myself.
curated by
So,
our
Johnny, maybe
Cannabis
while
Culture
you're doing
staff.
that, I can fill people in a little bit.
Fill it in.
Mark
What are you
and Jody and
Oh, yeah, right. We were going to talk
and
about
Chris
that.
and Aaron and Brittany, along
got
with
distracted.
17 other employees, were all facing a whole bunch of charges, almost 200 charges, for involvement in setting up the cannabis culture dispensaries across Canada and trying to show the way that cannabis should be sold in Canada. And for that, they were facing major jail time. And,
No jail. Mark wanted the jail time.
and all the rest of that. And unfortunately, we live in a very corrupt society here, and even though there was no intent to harm anyone and no victim, they were forced, and literally they had no choice but to plead plead guilty, and that allowed the 17 others to walk away without charges. And that's where I say they had to do that. They really had to do that. And so
Right.
they were imposed a fine.
Well, I mean, they didn't have to do it, but they decided that it would be the best course of action for a couple reasons. One, it got everybody off. So 17 employees who were facing charges get off with no charges at all.
17 employees were facing criminal record.
So
Yes.
that alone,
Yes.
it was the right thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't do that to them.
But the other thing was the reason that instead of fighting it, usually as activists, part of what we do is that we fight these things and we try to change the law or do a constitutional challenge, something along those lines. In this particular case, even if we fought it and won, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been a waste of our resources because they have a whole new set of laws that they're bringing in.
Yep.
So even if we had the laws completely thrown out, well, big deal. They've already got a new set of laws.
That's right.
So it wouldn't have made a goddamn difference if they would have fought this till the death. It would have been probably...
You're fighting a law that is already... It's
already been done.
It's already been done. It's kind of like...
That's how they got us. They were smart about the way they did this.
Yeah.
And what
Because
the judge
they're
said...
money grubbers.
During sentencing, the judge actually said, you guys should be getting prison time for this. And the judge was pretty harsh to them. But what they did is they ended up giving Mark and Jody each a $200,000 fine.
Well, $45,000 is a victim surcharge, even though there were no victims.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
did-
50
did-
grand for
did
everybody.
everybody get those
$150,000 plus the victim surcharge.
Wasn't there 5 people? Then they
There were
all
5
get-
people. The other 2 got smaller charges, I think, of like... one of them got 25 grand. One of them got 3 grand. So there was just... It wasn't
So
as
Aaron
much
got 3 grand.
It actually
Brittany
set
got
pretty good
25.
precedent.
You know,
Right.
but
But
you're
Mark
gonna
and
get
Jody-
here. So where were you in the industry, and
Yeah.
how much did you have to pay to get away?
Well,
So-
but
they still have a criminal
And
record.
this actually caused some controversy because people are like coming out and attacking Mark and Jody
About what?
because
They also
because
had
they were-
assets seized. I might
They had
add,
a lot
too.
of
They had
assets.
A lot of assets seized.
But here's the thing: when they were doing this, the agreement or whatever, the thing that they say, well, you guys did this much stuff. They said that Cannabis Culture Corporate, so that's Jody, me, and the people here at this company. They say that we were taking 10% grows,
6 to 7,
6 to 10, or whatever they were
6
saying.
to 10.
Yeah, no, they're saying on paper that we were taking 10, but what we're actually taking and what we took from our franchise partners that had to the majority of them was 4% gross. And so all of their things that they were writing were basically lies. They tried to say we were taking a buy-in fee of $25,000 for each store. Absolutely not true. All of our major stores that we had didn't have any buy-in fees. I think we had like 1 buy-in fee or 2 at the very most of anybody. So there was a lot of bullshitting. They wanted to make it look a lot worse than it was. They
That's
tried
what
to
the
say-
courts do when they're trying to.
They basically lied and tried to say that Jody and I were caught outside of our cannabis culture and that they had photos of us talking to some mysterious person in a cab, and then this person got out of the cab and went and shipped a whole bunch of boxes of marijuana through London Drugs next to our store to Toronto, which is a complete fabrication. We don't know
I shipped
anybody
a bunch of
shipping any
Medtanners.
marijuana to.
They lie
No.
constantly about plant counts and how many ounces you can get off or pounds you can get off of a plant.
Well, when
all
it comes
those
down to
sorts of things.
shipping and when it comes down to Canada Post and stuff like that, if they were suspecting and they were already investigating and they said that you walked across the street and put it in the mail, then they would have followed those packages, investigated those packages, opened them, taken pictures, repackaged them, and followed the track.
Unfortunately,
that's
like I
just-
said, the
once
system's
again-
corrupt. We get lied to all the time through the whole process.
That's
Yeah. No, it's total bullshit. And so, but what caused controversy is that when the news came out, everybody was like, oh, they made a killing. But it's because Jody was like, look, I don't have $200,000. And people started saying, okay, well, we want to help send you cash or whatever, right? So, and Jody didn't ask for any money from anybody or anything like that. People just wanted to give to help with this fine. And so Jody set up a GoFundMe. And that's what caused the controversy.
I heard
because
about the
They're like,
GoFundMe.
oh, they're begging for money. No, they're not begging for money. Somebody asked them to set that up so that they could donate.
Well, Jody
And they've
did lay it out that she really
Yeah.
doesn't have any assets and that,
No.
that this is not a fine that she can easily pay at all. And she's really concerned about it. And
Right.
she's just telling the truth in
And,
that.
and trust me, I know Jody isn't the type of person, like Jody's not some high fucking roller. Like she's not. Unfortunately, this company was in the hole when we started doing this. We've had to spend a lot of money to bring us out of the hole. And everything that we make essentially goes back into this business to try and make it bigger
That's
and
called
better.
business.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I think Mark kind of got into a bit of trouble because he was counting chickens before they were hatched and
Yes.
extrapolating a little bit about where it could go. And he was excited about
And
the
Mark's
future.
always braggadocious.
But I don't think you can hold that as.
Do you know how much money that Mark made that he gave away? All the money that he made, he gave away. Everything that Mark's ever had, he gives away.
That's right.
Mark isn't the kind of person who saves a bunch of money because he knows that the cops are going to come and steal it from him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't believe in owning things. Mark doesn't even own an apartment. He rents his fucking apartment. He could have for the amount of money that he's going to be renting that apartment for years, he could have bought an apartment. Like, it's ridiculous.
Truth.
So, but this is the way that Mark does his thing, and this is the way that Jody.
And
does
there's
his
a lot
thing,
of people out there that have it in for Mark and Jody for a number of different reasons. Not so much Jody, but Mark. He's created some enemies out there.
Oh yeah,
They're going to hate on him no matter what he does.
It's
They could not have won in this decision no matter what they decided. The haters were still going to hate.
Oh, and it is the same haters that always chime in. But it's when you're talking about other people's financial situations, I would be careful because you don't know.
Well,
And people think anybody in business is rich. They always think that anybody who owns a business is a millionaire or something. That's absolutely not true. Trust me.
I wish.
It's not true. Yeah.
Not happening.
It's not even close to
The
true.
more
so.
you make and the more you think. It's like when I just went to Watermelon up on, I went and saw Watermelon.
Yeah.
I got some licorice, of course. And she says, going down to spread the good word. And I said, of course we are. She goes, you're doing well. I says, well, we're spreading the word. And I think that's what every activist and everybody that does and every business owner who's in this industry. It's not like we're here trying to rake in dollars. We're here to tell you about how cannabis saves lives and how it helps us every day.
Yes.
How this plant should not be legal. And we're seeing those changes now finally in 2018. Everybody's gonna
That's
be able
what I'm
to
here
grow
today
their
to
own.
talk about, John.
I know what you're doing great, Neil, out there and
man,
stuff
I'm
like
so
that.
excited about what's
but
going
I mean,
on
we
now.
gotta take a look at the roots that made this happen, that changed the suits to where we are today. I mean, look what we've done. Look at how far we've came. Just there's a thing on my Facebook page like 5 years ago today. What have you achieved? Look back 5 years ago and what the cannabis community has done in 5 years.
A hell of a lot.
Congratulations, everybody! Like,
been
wow,
great.
we're seeing some pretty amazing strains.
And we're still, working as a team together in a lot of ways for trying to get proper legalization because we don't have that yet. There's still a great wave of oppression.
Even
around us.
with alcohol and prohibition and stuff like that, I think we're going to see change with these craft licensing. They're talking about it, but are people applying? Is anybody hearing anybody applying for the craft license?
I'm sure they will.
Well, we're looking.
Well, it's not. So that's not even really out yet.
It's not out
Yeah.
yet.
No.
This
so,
is all talk.
and it's not even legislated yet. So
So here's something
all
I
we
wanna
know
talk
is
about
there's
is things-
75 pages that the liberal government has put out. We had Kirk Tusaw on the show, I think 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago talking about this. And Kirk was happy about those 75 pages, but that's not set in stone yet. And when you see all the bullshit that's going on with these conservatives challenging things, you got the conservatives have a majority in the Senate. So they're challenging these laws. They don't want to have this thing pass. And now Trudeau is dragging his feet. And he's actually, did you hear him say, well, it's not really going to be the 1st of July.
I didn't know where that date came from.
Yeah, I have no idea where it came from. Didn't his government, I mean, what the fuck?
You can't believe these people. You just can't believe them.
So now they're saying, is it going to be the 1st of July?
No, they're saying it's not now. Now it's not going to be the 1st.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what but they're still
Well, let's make it
on
earlier.
track.
Let's make it tomorrow. Let's stop arresting people right now, right?
Well, here's the whole thing. They have to write laws around it, and our new law is going to be introduced on July 1st.
apparently not. He doesn't want it to be Cannabis Day.
Yeah, I guess I
He
think,
made the day.
honestly, I believe that they're actually worried about that. They're
Yeah,
worried
that's what
that
they said.
Canada Day will be renamed Cannabis Day, which it already is.
It is anyway.
It is anyways.
So yeah, that's a. I
Trump-
guess that's
Hey, and I saw a post today.
I've been
said
getting
it-
shit since the meeting for like 15, 16. It's not Cannabis Day, it's Canada Day. It's
and then
Cannabis
everybody
Day.
will know Trudeau made it Cannabis Day.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna go down, and that'll be his legacy.
He'll be his
Well, that's been the date they've
Whatever.
talked about in all the
He wants
different
it.
forums right from the beginning now. And I saw a post today. It said it doesn't matter if he wants to do it later to avoid that day. It doesn't matter. As of July 1st, cannabis is legal in Canada. Get over it. We're all just going for it anyway.
Bro, you know?
Yeah.
So as if it wasn't anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's still not, and that's the thing. And actually, Neil, I enjoyed you. I enjoyed you on
Oh,
the
yeah,
radio.
Be careful. There's
They're
like
falling
one
out of
little
here.
tiny dab. Then
Yeah.
just one. Staff
Jody
is
did
bad
some
at this.
CKNW radio show, Drex, and the
Drex and
Drexter-
Steele.
Drex and Steele.
Steele and Drex.
And so Steele's the female host. She is a piece of work. man.
Married to a cop.
Which one do you
She
want to
is a
hit?
piece
This
of
one
work
or the
that
other?
Married to a VPD officer, and
They don't
she's
even try to
she's
understand,
quite the
you know?
drinker and proud of it, and so is Drex.
That one.
So, but she's really misinformed a lot. That show is misinformed a lot. And
They just, they're so righteous about their beliefs, and they're so unwilling to listen to people. Like it, and if they do it to the cannabis topic, I'm assuming that they do it to every topic. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but
Well, they do lose some credibility with us, that's for sure. With some of the things that
They
they
were
allow to
just
be
so-
said and that they seem to believe there. So we try to set them straight. We try to keep them on track.
I thought
saw
Jody was
that-
fantastic, and Neil, I thought you were good, and then they cut you off and hung up on you.
Yeah, they did. Drex is my new Facebook friend, so I'm sending him messages regularly.
Oh, good. Yeah, harass him.
And
Well, they were trying to say the Steele was trying to say, well, why didn't Jody, you just, when the Liberals announced that legalization is coming, you just close up shop and then just
wait.
gone the legal route. Well, the fact of the matter is, there's no option for us to go the legal route because they're not allowing us to have dispensaries. They're having government monopolies to take care of this kind of thing. So we're still illegal. Cannabis culture, everything we do.
The model of how to actually sell cannabis in Canada was not being respected for sure. I mean, the path that cannabis culture and Jody and the rest of us are on really lays it down for itself. We follow the course of doing what's right moment by moment as we go, and that was the right thing to do for cannabis culture, was to start opening dispensaries the way that they have, and that's why we're where we are right now. So,
hell yeah.
We look back at the first dispensary.
And we really did amazing work this year when you look back at all of the...
Yeah.
Like, we were just talking about this, like, really, the judge was telling Mark and Jody, with all of the things you guys did, this massive... You had the largest network of distributing cannabis across the country and all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, we did, I guess, and it was cool. Yeah, it was very cool.
That's like when they busted the herb
Good
school.
example
They said,
for the future.
You sold over 2 tons of weed to 1,000 people for 3.5 years, and... They'd get a little bit of jail time out of that, but for David.
But yes, luckily no jail time, so there is a lot to be happy about.
Some good precedents actually set in that,
right?
With the scale of what they did and the fines that were imposed, I suppose. Although, they're providing a
take
service.
a look at the other clinics.
Well, that's actually true. Because Jody was worried. Jody wanted to actually fight this a little bit further, and I think that there was a bit of pressure on her from maybe some of the other co-accused to wrap it up. And I think they just wanted to get on with their lives, right? So fighting things takes time. It takes money. It's a hard fight. You might end up in jail. And they don't like people who fight. And in this case, it's pretty damn hard to say we're not guilty of selling cannabis. We're pretty
guilty of selling cannabis, not guilty of a crime, in that a crime implies that you've actually done harm with intent to somebody. That's got to have that mens rea knowledge that your actions are going to cause damage.
But
and there was certainly the opposite of that going on. So
but
we're still very unhappy about
David
these
Malmo
things.
Levine's case, though. The case of R.V. Malmo Levine
I remember very
made
well.
this very clear, though, that they don't have to prove individual harm to a victim. They just have to prove that you were breaking a law that's deemed to be harmful or deemed to be counteracting harm. So in the Malmo Levine case, they said, well, because we deem that marijuana is harmful to society, we say it's causing harm.
And they said it was harmful in an ephemeral way. That's what they said. And that was difficult to explain.
Right.
And that they said it was akin to doing damage in the way that is caused when there's family incest going on, or when there's a pimp involved with a hooker who is consenting, or when someone is doing animal abuse. And the other one was cannibalism. So they said that those four areas of human endeavor had with it ephemeral damage that was just associated, and so therefore dealing cannabis was in that same category.
Right.
A real horrible ruling, actually.
Right, just like cannibalism.
Yeah.
Cannabis is definitely
Nobody's really
harmful.
being harmed. That guy's dead. He doesn't feel nothing.
They both begin with can, that's right.
Yeah.
Cannabis corpse.
But, these people are corrupt. We just found out that Trudeau has his head up his ass. He's from some other world than ours. He doesn't understand what it actually means to be a Canadian. He thinks that, he can just flaunt the rules and all the rest of that for his own good. I beg to differ. The Canadian is somebody who really doesn't like bullshit, and we don't like bullies. We don't like being lied to, and we don't like corruption. And we're willing to stand up to that, and we're not going to roll over and go away just because these people think they can come in and just arbitrarily set super hard regulations that have no justification and take over the industry and criminalize all those people that have been here to get us to where we are and have no place to continue in their world.
Yeah.
So it's really it's quite a sad state of affairs that we've come to this point, but maybe this is going to be a catalyst for us understanding the corruption of these people and exposing them for that.
We still are progressing. We still are moving forward.
We are.
And think of this. So this case, we had 27 stores across the country doing something illegal. We were openly selling cannabis. We had 27 stores across the country.
You had 27 stores?
27 stores at our
job.
peak. When we went, that was when Montreal went off, and we opened 8 stores on the same day in Montreal.
Yeah,
that would have
went
put it
down.
at close to 30 there. Yeah. So if we would have had those other 2 that we were planning, we would have been right up at 30 in the Peterborough store. So that one wasn't selling cannabis, but that's a lot of stores.
I think Weeds had about over 25
Over 20.
stores.
Yeah, over
Yeah, they have
20.
over
Yeah.
20.
Oh, weed was over 20. Canna Clinic
Yeah.
had about 16 locations.
So I think we were the biggest.
But look at how many.
What about We Medical?
clubs.
Didn't they have a
We
show?
Medical May had a lot. She had.
They might have been even bigger.
But we opened up in all of the different locations. She was in Cranbrook. She was in
Yeah.
Surrey. She was in North Vancouver.
They were fantastic.
They were
All of them.
fantastic.
I love all those.
And now
every
she's down in
dispensary you named
Vegas,
there.
and they've opened up down there. So all of these things, they're now getting American backing. They're all getting
Yeah.
more and more things. Things are more West progressive.
We're working on that too. I want Cannabis Culture Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We're doing it, man.
Nice.
Well,
Well, it's about damn time.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna
Nice.
happen. We're gonna have a vapor lounge in Vegas. I'm telling you.
Beautiful. That would
We
be
don't have
amazing.
any plans for that yet. I mean, there's no deals made, but I'm just saying.
It
That's
occupies
gonna
the space
happen.
up here.
Yeah, it is. It is. But so think of that. We had 27 stores. We had, we're selling a lot of cannabis, open storefronts, and we went in front of a judge, and they didn't get jail time. So that does set a precedent, and it's going to be damn hard for them to be putting other people in jail.
That's right.
When
I think Jerry Martin should be okay now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, and I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, we'd have to talk to Kirk about legally how that does work. I'm not sure if it sets what they would be actually considered a precedent. It's
Well, they take a look at
precedential,
they take a look at the
but
case.
That's
It's
not
Pre-
the Supreme
a
Court.
precedent in court is something that's exactly. There's a very specific set of rules that guide what becomes a precedent. In this case, it would be influential. I think in future cases, I'm not sure if that actually is considered a precedent, but
But
be
it is
inter-
influential.
yeah.
But it's going to be interesting as the legalization does change. Now we start getting more and more people growing their own and stuff like that. Is when that person starts selling it, as the fines that are going to be put on people, going to be getting jail times. There's going to be more. I mean, it's going to be interesting how the system should be changing. Where if your neighbor's growing some killer weed, he's going to give you a bag of weed for shoveling some snow or something like that. I mean,
That'll be the new economy.
Yeah. It'll be
I
like
really hope they're not going to
hash
waste court
coins.
time with petty, people trading amongst themselves. I
that's
really
the
think
whole
we're
thing.
just in
It's even-
transition
they
now.
got Bitcoin, they got Litecoin,
Hashcoin, man.
I got
man.
Dabber coins. I got
There
these
used
little
to be
coins
weed
that have
coins.
Dabber on it. I got like about 300 of them. They're all like glass coins because I got a bunch of glass coins. And
They
stuff.
should bring back Pogs and use it as a currency.
Like all these little things, all these little. It's like
Pog coin.
okay.
Somebody got arrested recently because they tried to buy something off a cop and they wanted to pay him with weed. I saw that. I don't know if
Buy
you-
something off a cop.
Yeah, you had something for sale and somebody called him up and offered him a couple bags of weed for it.
That's pretty
So he
funny.
got-
Well,
That
trade
is
always
But
works
that's the way it should be. That's the way it is actually. Most of the time you can do that and you're not talking to a cop. You don't get arrested.
Yeah, Jared's
Shit, you can do that.
you
still
probably
active.
get what you're
You
trying
can
to
do that
buy.
in Mexico or other places usually.
Well, Cannabis Culture
They're the ones
Kelowna.
the cops are selling the weed and buying it.
Yeah, there's a good green economy going on as there should be.
Yeah.
Jared's got some memories over here right now. I'm
that's
just
a cool
checking them
memory.
out. He's got some good
I love
memories.
That old memory. That's a very nice
It's a
memory.
very nice memory, Jared.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I know. That was 5 years ago. You,
A friendversity.
It's actually.
No,
I
no.
should show it off because it's so awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's Courtney, my former roommate, Courtney, who is from Courtney Made It. She makes jewelry. She's been on the show many times.
She makes rosin.
This is
jewelry,
her 5
too.
years ago in my house with a painting that she was making. It's kind of hard to see on there, but she was like looking at her painting, and it's just kind of a beautiful shot of her analyzing her own painting. I always love this picture. It's funny that it came up right now.
Well, I like, that's one thing that you like about certain things, the memories that share, and then the show.
I like
on
that's one of the
420.
best things about
I
Facebook.
love the one thing about 420. On the day before and the days leading up to 420, you get all these memories of leading up to 420 and over the years, and seeing you in the back or on Dawn's bus with the flag hanging, or Jer standing on stage with the blowhorn, or Brittany. We got them all, right? We got all of these great little fun things that we always get to see, and that's a great thing about Christmas too. We see all the Christmas parties that we've all been to over the years for Cannabis Culture. I missed this year. I didn't get to see many pictures. Where's all the pictures from the?
I haven't uploaded
See?
them. I got them. I'm gonna work
Waiting
on 'em.
for it?
I just haven't had a moment.
I didn't get to make it down. I did the ankle the day before.
It was great, John.
I got a
fell
lot
off
of
the ladder.
great photos. I promise
great.
you, I will
Yeah, I
be
missed
working
you.
on that over the
Huh?
next 2
We
days.
missed you,
I felt-
but it was great.
I fell the day before.
Yeah, watch
My
the
ankle
Cannabis
was this
Culture
big.
Facebook page. We'll have all the photos
It
of our
sucked.
CC Christmas party up.
I wasn't
I'm
happy
sorry
about
you
it.
missed it, Johnny.
I was the first
It was
one I
damn
missed.
fun. It was 2 floors. We were too much for one floor, so it
Of
spread
course.
to the next and overflowed everywhere. Lots of fun was had by all.
Yeah, that's
Santa came
awesome.
down the chimney and put the presents under the tree. They did a staff Secret Santa, and it was pretty awesome. Speaking
my
of
Santa
And on that
bag
note-
there.
speaking of Santa Claus, Johnny
Your
brought his
mom
sack.
cup pack or what's that one? Oh, that's
I
just
brought a sack. I've been giving it away.
Santa-
Where have been going? And
Hashy
you run
Santa
into me?
sack.
ask me for something. I got medtainers, I got toker pokers, we got Bovida, we got Medax. We got all kinds of things in the bag that we're giving away.
You're gonna give them away on the show?
What are these things?
What are we
with the
giving away on the
snout
show?
there? What's that
Hey,
all
look,
about?
it's
Oh,
Hashley. It joined the chat on Facebook. Hi, Hashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
We have our new our new line, our new
Toker
toker
pokers.
They're now
And they have
fully wrapped.
Rick and Morty on them?
Rick and Morty.
What? Is that even legal, Johnny?
Well,
Don't tell anyone.
You just did.
is selling weed legal?
You're right. Well, this is Toker Poker. Look at how cool those are. Those are dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mick and Rory.
Yeah, Mick and Rory.
Wow, these are dope, though.
Morty.
See, these things will sell, man. Because people love that cartoon.
Oh, we're having fun.
I'm a pickle, Rick.
I didn't even know.
People love Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Aren't they? I've seen like a couple episodes, but never got into it. Isn't it like Marty and Doc from Back to the Future?
Yeah, you got
Oh,
the
it's got
Mad
glitter all over it, though.
I'm a pickle. Rickle.
I'm a
Pickle Rick.
I like
I'm
what
Pickle
you
Rick.
said.
I'm Pickle Rick.
Yeah. Yes. Norman says.
Anyways,
hey,
yeah. Well,
Norman
you know
says,
what?
"Hey, John, like your video."
Well,
Which video?
I have lots of videos. I'm
He's
doing
not-
one right now. I'll be working on.
Maybe it's this one he likes.
This one he likes.
That's
Maybe
probably
this
yeah.
You know what? It's good.
Link
You know
your
what?
current video.
Hey, Norman, like your comment. Yeah.
Okay. Well. Yeah.
What about Miranda? Has she had a dab yet? Do you want
Miranda
a
had
dab?
it down.
Dab Randa? And do you want to go in the hot seat? Never put
you
your
go.
chair over there.
Here you guys
Being
go. If
shy.
anybody on the website, anybody goes to
Anybody
the
dabbing
website,
has to have a camera on
you
them.
have to have a camera. You have to
That's
have
the
a camera.
rule around here. Yeah. Oh, you can
So-
grab the other chair, Neil.
So if you go to the
want.
Lift that's coming up here in January
Lift
2018.
Expo.
Lift
There's
Expo, the
Miranda.
first.
Hi,
Cannabis-
Miranda.
Hi, Miranda.
Oh, this camera, the little one.
I know.
Hello.
We should probably put it higher.
We probably should.
Because it is kind of
This
low.
is a
Neil,
fail
can
of
you-
engineering.
Can you slam it into that top part? Neil can do it. No. Neil. Oh, yeah, that's good. Neil's got the right idea. That's even better.
He's going to engineer us up a solution here.
He's a clever chap.
Is that better?
Tape.
And it might need to be a little lower
Turn
now.
this way.
There you go. There it is.
Hello. We're real people now.
No, yeah, it's a little more even with eye level. Ah, look at that. Hi, Miranda Nelson.
Hello.
Miranda is a very useful person around here. Does a lot of work for cannabis culture.
That sounds weird.
Useful?
I'm useful, like
Well,
a
you
tool.
Well, you are.
I'm the Swiss Army knife of people.
tool of the cannabis culture establishment, man.
I sold out to big marijuana.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway,
I was just trying to say that you handle a lot of biz around here.
I handle a lot of things around here. Yeah.
That
yeah, I
sounds
do.
even worse.
Right now, I'd like to
Now you're
handle
making
a
it sound
dab.
terrible. Yeah.
Hey, you guys told me it was ladies' night. I thought I would bring,
Yeah, this is ladies'
It
night.
is
Come
ladies' night,
on.
obviously.
Get away with it.
Yeah.
Not so much the guy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Don't even
All right.
say that, Neil. Yeah, you'll be resigning in no time.
Right.
So yes, give that girl a dab.
All right. I'm gonna let you hold the mic.
What do you got there?
And
We need more dabs.
Oh, do we need more dabs already? Oh, here we go. This, I don't know what it is, but dabs curated by the cannabis culture staff. They
Cannabis
suggested
culture
we
staff has
smoke
to
those
hook
ones.
us up a little bit better.
Yeah, we just went and asked them for give us a whack of different dabs. These are the
They gave
single
us
dabs.
one dab of
No, they gave us
each.
five.
They have 5 dabs.
5 dabs total. But they
3 people.
selected their
2
faves.
hours.
Merry Christmas, Rob, in the chat, and Merry Christmas, Michael. And NH says it's always ladies' night.
There you go.
Yeah. And Cindy says, so excited for 2018. And Luke wants me to ship him the reindeer. I don't know, Luke. It's covered in glitter, and it's all over me now. Like it's sticky glitter too. Look at me. I'm covered in it. I've been seeing internet videos and bad, information about glitter and how terrible it is for the environment. Apparently, the lead got the Romans. They were drinking out of lead bowls and made them all go crazy, and that's part of the reason their society fell. Well, I think glitter is going to take down humanity. It's going to be death for humanity by glitter. Kills off the whole ecosystem, kills the fish, kills all
But the kind of crazy you get with
What's
glitter is
killing
better
fish?
than lead,
the
right?
glitter. Yeah, lead's not good either. Hey,
No,
we
but
had leaded
just say if
gasoline.
you're crazy on glitter, I mean, that's probably more fun than being crazy on lead.
Well, you might want to do a rail of glitter.
That sounds
Neil?
like a downer to me.
Snort a rail of glitter.
Glitter sounds like, well, it may be killing us, but it's kind of cool to, you're talking to somebody and there's a little sparkle going on.
Is that the effect it
Here's your
has?
Cannabis
Nice
Culture
dab.
Token
Oh,
Pokers.
man.
Oh, CC Toker Pokers. Popular item for Christmas. You can find them at cannabisculturehq.com.
And I'm guaranteeing
Or-
on Boxing Day there's going to be a sale on those things.
There is a sale happening right now
There
at
you
our
go.
Cannabis Culture stores, both at 307 West Hastings and at 1674 Davie. Not at the dispensaries, but at our head shops. Up to 50% off in the store on select items. So, and that
Definitely
includes,
not
that's on
on
heady
Meditainers.
glass. Up to 50% off our heady glass.
I was
pieces.
I was looking at some of the glass down there.
There's
It's
some
really
super amazing deals right now at Cannabis Culture. You got to get down there. It's the sale's on till at least January 1st, and we'll see if we extend it. But it's gonna our thought now is January 1st, and we'll see how we do because there's a lot of amazing glass, and we want to give people a good holiday break.
You have
So
next
get your presents
That means
before
no.
Christmas and get your Boxing Day stuff afterwards.
Boxing Day.
Yes. And
So,
Neil has something else.
I got
Neil.
the Cannabis Substitution Project.
Oh yeah, give us an update on what you guys have been up to down there in the East End. Thanks, Miranda. Miranda's got more work to do. She's kind of filling in for Boss Lissa today on the boards, taking care of biz. Thank you for that.
So what we've been doing, for those of you who don't know, is the Cannabis Substitution Project has been running for 44 weeks coming up tomorrow, where every Saturday we go to Van Du. We've got several hundred edibles. We package them up into care packs of 4 or 5 and a couple of joints each, and we give them out to the people that line up there in the spirit of trying to offset the use of opioids and the other street drugs that are potentially killing people. So this has been going great without any support from the city at all on donations. And now the city has decided that they're going to interfere with some of the people that are involved with our project that have been setting up in Robson Square on Saturdays for almost a couple of years. But now they're there pretty much daily, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I think from here on in, they're going to be there daily. And they're offering cannabis to people that are on those hard drugs and can't afford them for free as well as part of our project. So a week ago today, the city had been trying to give them fines of $1,000 each. Some wouldn't accept those fines. Others probably won't pay them anyway. But that's what's happening there, but refusing to move still. But they said a week ago Friday that they were going to bring in the police on Monday and that they were going to arrest the people that were there setting up.
On
and offering
Christmas
the service.
Eve day.
Yeah.
No, they were going to do it last Monday, is
Isn't
what
that
they
how-
said.
so
It was a
never
week
happened.
ago today that they threatened them, and it was a week ago this coming Monday that they said they would be there. So the police didn't show up, but what we've done since then is we've made sure that everybody that's there has the Cannabis Substitution Project pamphlets. They all have edibles for people for the offsetting of opioids, and it's an access point in the city for people to come and get that. Whether they can afford them or not, they will get them. So what did happen on Monday is we got a fair amount of media attention that was down there, even though the police never showed up. So it has gotten out there into the media that that operation, that little thing that's going on there to provide people with that access is not going to go away. They can arrest them, but they can't arrest them and stop the next group from coming the very next day like we always do. We will continue to be there until dispensaries are allowed to have edibles in the city for people to get, because there's people dying all the time in this city from all over the city, not just on the downtown east
And
side.
you know, it's amazing how much people don't really recognize the edibles and how they're standardized and how important they are for medical patients and people who are suffering from addiction or from disease or injury and stuff like that. So they can actually
time.
regulate their dosages, know what they're taking every day. And taking a puff or just eating some weed has nothing, or a distillate. Like what the city has done when it comes to, like, even with myself, if it wasn't for the edibles, if it wasn't for the standardized dosing, I wouldn't know what I was taking every day to help me with my pain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it's critical. I eat edibles every day. And when they took that away, I mean, mail orders got bigger. I see a lot of edibles. I see them like crazy in Abbotsford and other communities. Sweet James.
There's a
I
need
mean,
there.
There's definitely a need because, I mean, it's an
Oh, man,
easier
it's a
way
huge
of.
need.
And
it
what
really
they would-
does
And
work.
doctors say it's
And
safer.
honestly, it is going to be the
Of
way of
course
the
it
future.
works. I mean, it really doesn't.
People, and it's not just, people that are addicted to the hard heroines and these street drug opiates. There's a lot of opiate addictions that are coming from pharmaceutical stuff. And so that's another whole
No,
side of this thing.
that is the biggest
a
thing.
lot of them start.
And they start there.
There's a lot of
and-
people that don't use all the time, but they use sometimes. And if they could understand that cannabis edibles or cannabis extracts, because concentrates, good concentrates, dabs, also have similarly positive, powerful effects for people. And that's probably what they're needing for whatever it is they're looking for in a lot of cases. Certainly not in every case, but in a lot of cases. And those people need to have that option. They need to not only have that option, but understand that that works. So for the government to deny people edibles and deny proper concentrates and to want to cap THC and all of that kind of stuff, it's really kind of horrible because they have no respect for the pain that a lot of
THC
people are in and
limits
what
all
people
that
are going
bullshit
through.
is garbage.
You know? I mean, you can call it recreational all you want, but for the most part, so many of these people are actually struggling with huge pain issues, huge emotional pain issues, and issues that nobody knows about. And there, but for the grace of God, go any one
People
of
who
us.
just
And
can't
it's nobody's
sleep
place
issues.
to judge these people. You know,
Yes.
there's one of the main fellows at the 420 Farmers Market at Robson Square, one of the main people there, Dave. He's got a tumor in his spine.
Is that
You know,
what's his name? He's got a funny
The
something.
gardener, Dave.
Gardener Dave? No,
Gardner-
he's got a title.
Dave the Roofer. I
Dave
guess.
the Roofer. That's
Yeah.
the man. That's the
You
one.
know, he's an awesome activist. He's from back east, and he did a lot of really good things back east as well. And he's
some
been out here,
roofing,
he's-
apparently.
Pardon me?
And some roofing.
apparently.
And some roofing. Hell yeah, you know, you gotta pay your way. You know, activism doesn't pay very well. Certainly didn't back in the early days. Some of us have found out, not me personally for the most part, but
kidding.
you know, there are ways to make money, thankfully, in the industry, and you can be an activist and make money. And money's a really good, powerful thing. It frees up your time. It allows you to make good choices about what you can do for things. So I'm really happy that we're where we are there. And Dave, he's never had any extra money like Mark Emery. You know, you can't have extra money when you're doing what we're doing here because they will take it away from you. So you be an activist, you figure out how to get your bills paid and do and survive and do your thing. And that's what Dave has done. And what he's done is he set up this cannabis garden for the last 3 years, at least, maybe 4, where he won't stop. They've put him in jail for several different times. He sets up at the P&E when they're there. He sets up at the art gallery. He sets up at the English Bay, and he gives people clones and he gives people weed and edibles and sells it as well to keep this. But he never makes. He's not like a dispenser. You won't find any $12 grams there for sure. And he's at the farmers market there. But you know, he's got a tumor in his spine. And so he's been dragged before the courts a few times about possession of cannabis, and he walks away every time because whose permission
he's a
do you
medical
need to smoke some weed if you've got a cancerous tumor in your spine? You know, like, at that point you're beyond
Yeah.
needing a doctor's prescription. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and I'm glad he just does it over and over again,
Yeah.
and then they just get tired of it. And it does work. They do go away after a while.
he's
Like,
still there.
Yeah, and
you know?
and look at the
There
example.
was 8 tables there today in Robson Square, all of them with jars of cannabis and edibles for sale and for free,
and as
depending
soon as
on
they
your
pop
situation.
one or a few of them,
Can I go get some free weed?
If you think that's the right thing to do for yourself, John, you go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you think that you can afford to maybe support what they're doing there and helping people that
I'll
can't
probably
afford
go there and start
then
supporting it. I'd be putting like all these MedX packs in there and
I
giving
know.
away Medtainers.
They
You know,
really
man.
do deserve support. And the good news is that it came out in the news actually just last week. I don't know if you saw that or not. Turns out right from toddlers on, you get a better boost when you give somebody something than when you get something. So how about that?
course
Right
that
at
is.
Christmas time, it's better to give than to
Yeah,
receive. Eh?
Of course
So
it is.
Yeah.
That's why I love helping
Well,
people. You know,
I've
I
been
say,
preaching that
I
my
would
whole
say,
life, right?
I would say I'm
It's
the greedy
science
one
now.
because
You know,
when
that
they
they
help
did a
people.
study.
This farmers market thing is great, and people like Mike Hagar from the Globe and Mail write about it on his Twitter account, and he says he was writing, well, I don't see how, you know, the BC government's announcing that they're going to only sell weed in liquor stores and that whole thing. I guess they're going to allow private dispensaries in the future, but they haven't released the details. That's coming out early.
But what are they doing in
2018.
Vancouver with the ones who've already paid $25,000 or be licensed?
They're going to be allowed.
They're going to be allowed.
Or these other provinces that have decided that's not
the
going to
biggest
happen.
thing is if that's going to be allowed, so they're going to have to buy from licensed producers. So now
Yeah,
we're looking at
nah.
distribution
You
centers.
watch what happens.
You watch
That's
what happens.
never going to happen. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be too much fucking weed that's growing on the black market, and there's going to be no LP weed available. So everybody's going to have to buy their weed from the black market, and you watch. The BC government is going to issue licenses to growers themselves to say these are the people that we want to have in our stores. The feds they'll figure out a way to do it through the feds because there is absolutely not enough supply. Or the feds in their 75 pages that they released are going to allow for these micro growers, which they're saying they're going to do. So I have a feeling the feds are just going to open it up.
But these micro growers will then grow that will then sell to an LP, so they'll be under an LP's umbrella because I know there's already corporations.
Well, here's
that
the
are
other
That
thing,
would
though, John.
possibly be
The other
one
thing
of
is that here's all these dispensaries have relationships with the people that are supplying them
know
now
that. Hey,
that are not LPs,
I'm
and
100%
those
behind you.
relationships are not just all of a sudden going to end
I've been doing
because
this for
you're
way too
going to be putting people out of work. These growers are feeding their families; they're contributing members of our
Jamaica.
economy,
I've been in
and they're not
Jamaica.
just going to go away. So we have to license those people into this micro growing
And we're
economy
talking about people
easily. You know, the ones that are already there supplying dispensaries. They're just not going to all of a sudden turn their back on those people and go with LPs.
And
are the
unless there's
government.
good weed, the
And
black
they
market will exist because people can just go and get good weed right now. They don't need to go to an LP. You can get good weed from your private grower, from whoever.
Even if there's good weed available from government sources or government regulated sources, if you, unless you can, you're going to keep growing weed and supplying it to people if that's what you do. That's what you
Right.
want to do.
Behind the
And
whole
if you're
thing.
growing good weed, there'll be a market for it, whether there's a legal market or not.
By
So
allowing-
license these people if you need to give them license. I say don't give people fucking licenses. What the hell? Let's grow
does
some
everybody
weed.
grow
Let's
some
sell
weed?
some weed. And if there's ever a problem that arises, take it to court. If some dispensary or some guy selling weed that's got, you know, in some part of the system that's a good system and there's a problem with it, let the free market decide those things. We don't need governments to say, oh, no, we can't ever take a chance that something like that might happen. So no, never. When it almost never, if ever, happens at all.
Well-
All these years of buying weed on the black market, so little problems. That's what the whole thing has always been. This is a safe substance. This is the safe choice. All these other things carry with them inherent huge dangerous risks. Alcohol, tobacco, pharmaceuticals, and so many other things that are out there. Huge risks. Anytime you're using cannabis and you're not, is a time you're not using those things, and that's when you're not in any of those risks. So that's why it should be promoted widely. That's why it should have always been available, and we deserve an apology for that. And that's why it should be subsidized and not taxed, is because it's going to offset the use of things that are costing our society and save us money. So
Yeah, but
I
the government's not going to lose money, and most corporations aren't. So, I mean,
Right.
well, what do you mean lose money? They're going to, and the government is us, John. The
Government
is us.
taxes the
Well,
shit out
not
of
really,
everybody. They're gonna
though.
Take their cut of everything.
the government is not me.
Not
It
me
should
either.
be you.
But-
It should be
but
us.
it-
That's
but
what the
it's
government
not.
should be.
The government
And they
is
should-
Unfortunately, it's not.
Unfortunately, there's,
Well, they're not there to
there's-
make money. They're not there. They're a not-for-profit for sure, aren't they? Like, aren't they supposed to take
No.
whatever tax dollars that they glean off of us and use it for us? Aren't they public
Well,
servants?
yeah, but-
and that's their
Yeah,
job?
but Neil, they just create more
country
government
has a
jobs.
deficit.
Well, now you're talking corruption. If we don't
Well-
need those jobs, shouldn't they be running as efficiently as possible?
They just think they can do it better. So I actually, I see the
Who are they
philosophy.
then?
Well, they are the bureaucrats. They are the people and the
bureaucrat-
lefties who believe that the government should be doing everything. People who are socialists.
So you mean the people
or
in our
people
country,
who
not the
are-
governments, but the people in our country want these kind of abuses and wasting of,
Of course
our
they
dollars.
do.
I want more
Because
hash
they've
in
been-
my life.
because
That's
they've
what I
been
want.
convinced that that's
I think
the
there's not
best
enough
path.
weed being smoked here right
Hey,
now.
man,
Neil, you got any
They're
weed?
convinced that that's the only path.
I used to be a
I
lefty.
come to Pod TV with
a
no
hardcore
weed.
lefty, so I know the whole idea of
like,
government
Jesus,
can
wrong
do
with
things
me?
better than people, right? There's
I
a lot of
need
people who
help.
believe that, but
What's going on, John?
Nothing. Got no hash.
I was
going to
go into some funny
Oh, man, you
messages
got
here in
nothing
the
to smoke.
chat.
I forgot it at home. I was like an idiot.
Tishmac was saying something funny, but now he retracted his message, so I don't know if I should say it.
He's like, I retracted my message.
But
wait a minute.
He said, Neil, your facial hair is too big. He thinks you should downsize it a little bit.
Cut this down a bit. eh?
Yeah, he says it's too
I think
huge.
he's being facetious.
He might be. He might be a little
It's hard to
sarcastic.
tell with it's just digital.
But he
print, right?
retracted the message.
One way or the other he doesn't like it. So.
But I called
Well-
it out anyways. Also,
I
there
hope
was
everybody's
other
gonna
stuff
have
in
a
the
Hashy
chat here
Christmas
that
this
I was
year.
gonna
I got some.
What's on the
mention.
Christmas list? What's everybody's on Hashy
John.
Christmas list?
I got something you might like.
What-
Yeah, what's on the Hashy
What's
Christmas
on the Hashy
list?
Christmas list?
Um,
There it
I know what I
Oh,
want.
there was a question. C-Ray says, does CC sell non-heady glass?
Well, of course, there's China glass down everywhere, man.
Right, and
So, John,
there
what do you
still
want
is.
me to say?
Yeah, there's still China glass.
Yeah, they got a
And-
nice little case when you walk in the front door. You walk up to the right-hand side. You see on the right-hand side, you see a lot of local glass.
Local
You'll see
glass.
some
We
Illuminati
have, like,
glass of that.
a bunch of
You-
heady
you-
glass,
Then,
and in the
then
back,
to your
too.
left, you got a huge case of all your $20, $30, $40, $50 year round.
Yeah.
Your everyday, you're probably your biggest
Little
seller in
pipes,
the world.
too.
Your $20 pipes, your $20,
Yeah.
$30 spoons. So there are lots of heady. There's probably about 20 different artists supply that
Yeah.
case. It's really cool.
Well, and then
I was downstairs
the
showing
back,
up
too. There's
and,
like-
and then the back. Now you got all the glass cases. Across
Whole
the
entire
back. You have a
wall.
whole entire fucking case of medtainers. With everything. You do. You got an entire.
We
case,
have an entire wall of
like
medtainers.
a wall. You don't have one, but you probably got all.
We
of
go
the
through a lot of
collections.
medtainers, man.
We got about 16 on the collection now,
And
with
I
the
love the
new Rick and
medtainer,
Morty ones.
actually.
So these are going to be down.
I always said best
down
product that we
at
sell. It's not-
Cannabis Culture. You'll see these real soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So all
These,
that.
uh,
Kind
So,
of
John,
stuff.
I have something for
legal.
you. I got something for your.
We also got Canada Clamps downstairs. Cannabis Culture is the first store in Canada to have Canada Clamps. for
Canna
retail sale.
clams. There you go.
So get your discount.
You want to
Apparently,
make your own extracts, don't you?
yeah, you only have a few left. I went downstairs. You'll sell out right away. Sorry, they're gonna sell out for.
But be
Christmas.
careful with them. Wear the goggles. Don't
Wear
put
some
it up
goggles.
close to your face like Johnny always does.
Oh, don't burn yourself.
Yeah.
So, John,
Yeah.
I got something for you.
Thank you.
What's he got?
So, you know that I was, I had the honor of being
See,
the MC of a
I'm
number
not
of
a guy
different
who's
events.
like, what is that? Is it like made? I'm like, sure, fuck, I'll just smoke that shit.
Do it.
Well, what that,
He found it in the
You
alley.
see me? I was like,
Yeah.
woohoo!
It's
What that-
actually
what
like
that-
bubble gum from
what
the
that
alley.
is-
Hey,
John?
John, what was it? I don't know. Remember that one time I felt like I got drugged? I don't know what
Yes,
happened.
he did. No, you're like,
what that
"What'd
is,
you guys
John?"
put in my drink? We're like,
what that is
You're
well, you know
insane.
that I had the honor of being the MC of many of the different fundraising events to do with the concentrates and the Allard case.
Yeah.
And at the end of those, I would many times be given a little bit of the winning entry. And so this is a container that I have that has all of those things
Oh.
put together over the course of numerous
Quite
different
a pile
events.
of goo there.
And it's melded into something I think very special, probably.
Show it off again to that camera.
This one here.
Oh yeah, that one. No,
Yeah.
no, the one on the box.
it's
Yeah,
This one here.
Mikey will
Little
smoke
closer,
anything,
little closer.
So will Johnny.
a little closer. Oh, I don't think I have the focus working. Well, so you can get the picture.
What's the best way to press
Get the
dry sift?
unfocused picture.
Really easy and simple. Make
Sorry,
sure
guys.
make sure you put your dry sift between a 25 micron screen is what I use. Heat that
25
can of clamp up
micron.
or whatever pressure you're using between 180 to 200 degrees. Like anything, do the pre-squish. Don't squish too heavy. Don't push too tight. Wait for it. You'll start seeing giz slowly. You know what? It's really lower temp and just let the resin
Resonate.
ooze. Let it ooze.
Be gentle. Let it ooze.
Yeah. So that was a question in there. What temperature for that? That's my temp for when I'm
What's
doing
the
my
best
dry
way to
sifts.
press dry
That's the
sifts?
best way.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you are looking for
And if you're pressing
Christmas
bud,
presents,
if you're pressing bud, and a lot of people,
Grandma
I hear a
would be
lot of
very
people
happy with
really,
a
really,
rosin
really
clamp
disappointed in their
this year
press
in
when
their
they're using
stocking.
when they're using their mom's hair straightener, whatever they're doing. A lot of people say I don't get anything because you got to get it
their
at
mom's hair
62%.
straightener.
You got to do what?
Yeah,
Oh, that's how you.
100%.
Yeah.
Hair, that's how I started it all.
Yeah.
I use a Revlon hair straightener and a
Johnny's one of the
Irwin clamp.
pioneers of rosin.
Like I couldn't because I had surgery on my neck. I couldn't press with my arms, and I was a glazer by trade. And I had like 10 of these sitting on the wall, and I'm like, the people are sending me pictures of attaching plates to all kind of clamps and stuff like that. And I started talking to some guys, and I'm like, well, this is what I want. Yeah, like well, this is kind of like this what's gonna work for the guy that can't, like the guy who can't have this big press or lip around a big t-shirt or any of these big presses or have this big air compressor or this big hand pump. I mean, I just physically can't do it. And that's how the can clamp basically was born. And now it's just like, now we just talk about making sure whatever press you're using, whatever you're pressing with, make sure you're pressing with. I use Bovida or Madex, a 60, some kind of a humidity pack, because you got to keep it's really important that the humidity is at 62, 64, depending what you're doing. If you get down to 50, 58, 55, you will definitely see a difference in your rosin. You will not get as much. it will stay more in the plant.
What the hell is this?
Well, these are the new MedX packs. So this is going to be a glycerin. So this has actually got an FDA approval to touch product and stuff like that. So just like the Bovida, which is all natural salt and water. Well, this is another one, which is MedX, which is our brand, which comes in every Medtainer right now. Every Medtainer that's bought in wholesale, retail,
touch it
whatever,
again?
comes with one in there. And pretty much,
It's
Neil, you got
fun
some
to
weed?
squish.
Yeah, I'd love some of those.
So you open up the pack.
Doesn't suck your terps out, does it?
Doesn't suck your terps out or nothing like that. It now activates it.
It's
This lasts
cold.
up to 30 days. It's a gel. This doesn't go hard or anything like that. Neil, you'll be a little
you wanna-
tester in there. There you go. So basically these packs, 30 to 60 days is something that you kind of will use. They're roughly probably anywhere from $1 to $2 depending on where you purchase them, or with a lot of the places, like with a lot of the from Tilray to James E. Wagner's, a lot of the licensed producers that are giving them away and all the maintainers that they get and stuff like that, and we see them in the industry.
You're making these?
Yeah.
Is this your idea?
That's not my idea,
No,
but
okay.
Did you steal that from
no,
Bovida?
no, let's
asking.
what did I always talk about? Standardized and freshness
that's cool,
and quality control.
That's
That's
cool.
all I've
I
ever
think it's
talked
awesome.
about. Neil knows that. That's all I've ever stood for was
Yeah.
standardization for patients. And this is one more thing that it makes it more standard for my medicine. I get the same consistency.
So that keeps it
over
at
and
exactly
over.
what.
It's 62%, so
62.
you have the same terpenes and same moisture levels. So it's
Yeah.
really important when you're trying to control something. Instead of having dried out badass weed that burns your throat or something like that. So it's just learning, and these are available. There's going to be other companies probably as the future comes with how the industry is changing. We're really starting to realize it. We see it in cigars. We see it in food. Why don't we see it in our cannabis?
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Right? Well, now you do see it in your cannabis, right?
Yes,
Well, that's
you
what we're
will.
doing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
Merry Christmas. Everybody,
Nice.
Merry Christmas. Huh?
Oh, here, I'll pass that to you. Nice. It feels cold, and I like to squish it. It's fun.
And then I got some other Christmas gifts for these guys, but I can't show them on you guys.
It keeps
Oh,
you at the right
geez,
moisture too,
yeah.
Jeremiah.
What's
Well,
that?
then the new
Seems to be
releases.
keeping you at the right moisture level too.
Got new releases and stuff
Yes.
like that, but I mean,
Always.
Yeah, no. There's another
That's
thing
funny.
for Lift 13th
yeah,
and
Lift.
14th. That's coming
So, okay,
up.
when is that? Yeah, 20, what? When? What?
It's the 13th and 14th
Of December?
of January, coming up in the new
We're
year.
going back in time to go to it.
Coming up in January.
Yeah.
We're hopefully be doing a pre-party here at Cannabis Culture the day
Yeah.
before, so we're
That's a
talking
cool
about that
idea.
with High Canada. So I will.
Is it at the Vancouver Convention Center?
It will be the Vancouver Convention Center.
Right. There you
What
go.
are those dates
And,
again?
Lift.
definitely come on by the booth. On booth
Lift,
239.
who has come a long way. They've
Done very well.
yeah, done a bunch of cool stuff, and they have their expos at Toronto and Vancouver locations.
Vancouver, Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary, Edmonton. I've done them all.
Yeah. And then this year they've had their big awards that they do every year.
And they do their Lift Awards.
Yeah, and we actually won. Cannabis Culture won 2 awards.
I've always told they might have to create a category for me because they think I shouldn't have it because of the
Create a
container.
category for you?
No.
Yeah.
Well, because they don't have one for products.
Yeah, right. Oh, they don't.
No, not really like certain products. You know, they have all kinds of different products they have for
I thought they
best-
had one for everything.
Yeah, well, apparently they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, we won 2. I don't know what they were. One was for a particular strain that we had at one of our dispensaries, and then the
It's
other.
hard. How does a dispensary win a strain when someone else grows? Yeah, I guess it's okay. I'm
not
just conscious.
sure.
Whatever, it's okay.
Yeah.
That means they
And
had
then
the
one
best
was for-
quality medicine, one of the best strains at their
Yes.
location, which is a really good way of offering. So that's a
Right.
really good location to go to. I like that.
Yeah.
Too bad they shut it down. Eh?
And I believe Expert Joints won 3rd place in
Nice.
the best podcast category.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the guy.
But I think
like that.
But I think who won first place was Tweed's podcast.
Oh, whatever. Fuck.
Yeah, which
It's
I haven't
corporation.
seen,
He's got big
or no,
money.
can't, or whatever. Yeah,
Whatever.
I haven't. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, they
I'm not
paid
sure-
big bucks
I'm
to
not
some
sure who's
No, that's
deciding on
awesome.
the
social
I
media
mean,
expert.
That's, I
Like
mean,
who
because we remember
votes
when,
for the left. I think we looked it up. Actually, Lyft chooses themselves who are the winners of some categories, and others they have public.
okay, like High Times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I see why they do that. See, at High Times, it became apparent why they did it because it was impossible for people to accurately judge all that stuff within the amount of time that they give you. So it causes problems, including, remember, you were there trying to hustle through. Johnny was like the
Oh no! What I did is I did a live
It was
thing.
hard.
I brought all the judges together. We sat around a round table and we judged the indicas and the sativas. We had a good time. You know what?
Yeah.
And those were the results.
Yeah.
What we chose is what resulted at the
Yeah.
end. Dana says
The
that a lot
lift
of the ones
awards
that
are kind of different because you have
Yeah.
more time to do that. You could do it as long as you want. But, I mean, I understand they probably want to have control over it so that they can, make their LP friends
see what they're happening. I haven't even heard the
feel good
announcements for
as
next
well. Yeah.
Mom Cup's coming up.
Mom Cup.
year. Mom Cup.
There you
Cup.
go.
Yeah, coming up on February.
Everybody
Mom
everybody
Cup.
can be a judge there.
Yes, the Mom Cup is
Everybody-
awesome. The Mom Cup is, I would say, a lot more sort of street savvy than the Lift Expo. The Lift Expo is a lot more on the sort of, it's trying to be nice to everybody. The LPs are invited and everybody plays part of that. The Mom Cup is the mail order marijuana cup. It's pretty awesome.
The physical event
A
is
little more
really cool.
grassroots. Yes, nice, Miranda.
There you go.
That's the good.
No, the
good word
physical
for
event,
it.
held
Black
here in Vancouver
market.
is over the top, and the entertainment is awesome, and there's a lot of good stuff happens there for sure. But this year,
Yes.
everybody can be a judge at home wherever you are in Canada. You can vote online and have the samples sent to you.
We had Penny on the show.
I was with Penny.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun coming up. That's
Last week.
February, I think 23rd to 25th.
Yes, February 23rd, 25th, and it's here in Vancouver. So we did give away tickets actually on last week's show.
$25 admission to anybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be
weekend.
there.
Yes,
And samples
you should
will all
go.
be
It's
available to
fully
people
worth
that,
it.
that just pay the admittance fee.
I
as
missed
well.
some of the artwork creation last year, which I really regretted. But
You heard about it.
yeah, I heard all about it. I don't
Yeah,
know
that
if
was
Miranda
fun.
heard about it. There was an artist who used
Can't believe I watched that.
was very inventive with his medium, with his method of painting.
Well, I think you should go farther than that and describe what happened. It was I was there.
Neil,
It
give us
came
a
out-
very vivid
Came out
description.
as an RCMP officer, off work, arriving home, gathers up his favorite picture of
Jesus.
Justin Trudeau and sits down on his big Easy Boy recliner and starts smoking a big fatty while he thinks hard about how much he likes Justin. And he just happens to have an easel over in the other part of his room there. So he eventually, after having a few big puffs on the fatty, gets up and wanders over to the easel and, well, whips off his RCMP pants, and there's like the longest schlong I think I've ever seen, certainly in person.
Why did I know this is where this was going?
He also, quite by coincidence, I think, happened to have some paint available to dip his into, and he proceeded to paint a portrait of his beloved. And I was saying while it was going on, if that actually looks like Trudeau, then I'm going to be blown away.
I saw the picture after. It looked exactly like
It looked exactly.
It was perfect. It was like
from
brilliant.
any
Yeah.
if you got up really close, you could see that there was some pretty tight strokes in there that weren't quite, But from any type of a distance, 10 feet or more, man, oh man, what a likeness. So
No,
yeah,
that's
I've never
artwork.
seen anything like that. I was not expecting that, and I'm told that that was where the bar was set. They're planning on increasing it this year with something. I don't know. I don't know. But lots of fun at the Mom Cup, that's for sure. They also had some burlesque before that just to keep the ladies happy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her J Mac had a good time last year.
Yeah. J-Mac tried to jump up on stage, I think.
I left before the
wanted-
whole.
It was
painting.
more fun than I think I'm allowed to have, and nobody allows me to do nothing, so except me. So
Well,
I don't usually allow
yes,
myself to.
a lot of fun. Good food, if I remember correctly,
Good.
too.
Oh man, and the Dab Bar was
Yeah.
epic, and yeah, so looking forward to the Mom Cup again this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. And who knows what
And I think
people
it's
will paint with
revolutionary
this
too
year.
to be able to judge from home, to be able, because that's what it is. It's a mail order cup, right? So
Yeah.
you can order the samples, be a judge and take part in this and judge for yourself. And that's really an awesome
Yeah,
opportunity
so
for people.
buy a bunch of weed online.
That's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay? So just
But-
order that shit. And where do you go? I mean, there's lots.
But it's
Yeah.
also a special way to buy it because you get like all these strains that are entered as the best of the best to try.
So
to
where
win the
is there a
contest.
website you can go to find out what strains to vote on and where to buy your weed from?
Well, I think you could
I
probably
don't think
find
you
it
can-
at 12highchicks.com, except you can't. That's not.
I don't think you
that's-
can
that's
buy
just
it from there,
Yeah,
but
you're
you
not
can-
buying weed. You're
Yeah,
not
but
buying
that's
weed.
a
Trying here.
That's a
Just
cup
a
we should do in
perverted
the
way to
future.
look at it.
Buy an herb.
That's a cup we should do in the future.
I
then.
talked about this
You're just
before.
entering a cup
Call
to
it
judge.
an
You're
herb,
just
give it a
sampling.
SKU number, sell it online.
It's a medical exercise to find out which are the better strains that work for people. It is taken seriously by
Oh, no,
a lot of
100%.
people, and it is important that we understand which are the strains that work the best. And this is an opportunity for people to take heart in that and
Yeah,
decide.
that's
so
quite
I think
awesome.
it is fairly serious in that
there's more.
respect, and you're allowed to be a
is there
judge
more?
if you
I
think
was
you
being
have
nice. I would've smoked
anything
it
to
by
offer.
now.
Yeah. Here, let's show off. This is one of our singles that we have in our dab. Would you want to show that off to the cam? You can tilt it.
Okay,
over
so
there.
don't be careful. Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, you
Okay,
can
here.
do it, Johnny. Yeah. Oh, here. There it is. That cam. Yeah. See, check it out. That's one of the singles. So that's a dab in the from the dab bar that you pay $5 for, and it actually is kind of like almost 2 dabs. Really, you could split that into
Neil
2.
really likes it. Look at this.
That's like 3 or 4 for me.
You want to smell
Yeah.
it? Yeah, Neil.
But it's
Whoa,
a decent.
whoa,
I mean,
whoa,
it
yeah,
obviously depends on what kind of a dabber you are. Some people that would be like, that's not a big enough dab for me, man.
Oh yeah, that's
But for me, that's like 2 dabs.
it should be, because that's really concentrated cannabis.
Yeah, it is. Well, some people hit it
We
hard,
smoke way
man.
too much, man. I'll tell you.
Some
I know
people hit
people
that
hit hard,
shit
and,
hard.
and medical people. I can't comment. I'm sure that
What do you
the needs are
mean
different.
we smoke? What?
I think for spiritual reasons, I think
Yeah.
we smoke too much. For medical reasons,
For
we need to have it in the right
spiritual
concentrations and the right doses to deal with what we're dealing with. But for those people that use it as a spiritual thing, and I do in my life for sure,
dab.
it helps
Nah.
me with
My
my
ears.
stress and anxiety about this corrupt world that we live in. I mean, I'm
Anxiety
fighting the drug
attack.
war. It's a horrible, horrible war, and I need to have some balance and peace in my life. And so that's what
Yeah,
I
but
use it for, is to
I like-
to really flow with the
It's, I think, spiritual for me to be finely toasted at all times.
And I think that's too much, in my humble opinion. I think that
Right.
we, in general, I think we're driven to this by prohibition. I think that drives a lot of how much cannabis people use. But when given a break, enough of a break to flush the system and then
dabs
start
are going?
anew, the amount of cannabis needed to
Ran
get
a dab.
to the
pass
level
to the
of
pipe?
baked is far less
Yeah.
than what it takes when you're doing it every day, several times a day. To get to
Depending on
that
what you're
level
going
of
through?
baked that you like takes far less if you use it less often.
I'm sitting back here for a second.
How is it ready?
Just my opinion, though. I mean, everybody
Ready to
on
go?
their own path. I wouldn't impose anything
How
on
long does that
anybody.
thing go
That's my real thing.
I normally go about 42 seconds. Just kind of like I bake at 420.
42.
Takes me 42 minutes to get into town.
So how long has it been so far?
Is it at 420 right
I
now?
want somebody to count to 42 while they're waiting for their dad.
My discount right now is 4.2% off of anything on the website between now and the new year.
Oh yeah. So Johnny, you have these barbecue lighters that are. I call them barbecue lighters. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
they're
look like
barbecue
big ones.
lighters.
But no, they're bong lighters.
Yeah,
And
bong lighters.
Look at these things. These things are cool. But you're saying these are not for sale, though.
No.
What are they for then? And why do you have so many of them?
Oh.
And can I have one?
Well, that's Merry Christmas.
Which one can I have?
I give
This
you
one?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. What's he got? Are these ones for somebody else? Oh no, I like this one. I think this one's cool. It says
We're playing with it.
It says Super Vigilante on it.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
they're
got-
barbecue lighters.
Look at it.
And we're printing on it.
It's got lightning bolts and shit on it. I want this one. Is it okay for me to have this?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Here.
call you out on the
And you
air,
can
but-
pick a Super Vigilante Medtainer.
What is Super Vigilante?
Well, it's just like you have, I don't know. Fuck.
You don't know.
Give me
what
a
it
break,
is.
man. I just got them sent to me.
they
Kings of
different?
You don't have any idea what they
Atlantis.
are.
Are they different than other medtainers, John, or are they
Yeah,
just
no,
labeled different?
everything is Amicon. Everything is
Kings of
branded, and we're
Atlantis.
having fun with
We need
everything.
to find out what Super Vigilante is.
Like we even have like Rick and Morty
I wonder
medtainers.
what that is.
Here you go. Here's
And
Morty.
they're going to be
medtainers.
calling you, John.
Look, there's Christmas colors. We'll just set this up.
These ones. We're having fun.
Oh, jeez. There you go. Sure. We just like put up stuff. We don't even know what the fuck we're putting up, but
Hey, having
Super
fun.
Vigilante. Who knows what it is? Sounds good. Put it up there.
Vigilante. It sounds
Yeah.
good.
Always a danger of crossing the line when you're a vigilante, though, isn't there?
Well, I guess so. Just ask like Batman.
What's someone going on there? Someone doesn't like me.
Everybody loves you,
I'm kidding.
but
I think we should all be
he says
super
this guy
vigilant
don't like
all the
Johnny.
time.
I don't know who doesn't like Johnny. I love Johnny.
Anyways, we're having
Maybe
fun.
he was talking about me.
Talking about you,
Maybe he was talking about Neil.
Neil. These just showed up.
Neil
at the
doesn't
door.
like you, but
Neil loves me.
I love
Neil's
everybody.
great.
I love everybody.
Yes.
So did you never
We got
wrote
really
that down?
baked there for a sec.
But that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
See, that's what we call it. We're relaxing.
There's another dab here.
I'll do that.
Neil,
All right.
Johnny, you.
He was like, all right. I was like, I
Yeah,
got one.
you already called it even before I said Neil.
Huh?
You called it actually.
Yeah, you take it.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'm on that.
Yeah, you did. But there's another one for Neil, right here.
Okay.
So give Johnny that.
No, really looking forward to 2018
Right.
and seeing how this whole thing is going to work out with legalization
of the year.
and access to the end of the year. I mean, like I said, looking back at 2017 and shit, I must have went to about how many events when there used to be like one event a year, or like the Prairie Harvest Cup with Jeff, or
Yeah.
when the Sarah Sunday started having her.
No, I know
Armor
there's
Cup
so many.
And then
different
before
events
there was
now.
just treating yourself, and then Kush Cup came into play, and then there was the
Yeah.
Harvest Moon Cup, and that was and then all these cups, and I'm just taking a look at how many are happening now, and how many events there are, and just how much and how much we're allowed to be able to actually walk around and do freely over the last year.
Yeah.
It's been quite amazing to see all the major cities I've been to, from Calgary to Edmonton to Manitoba to Ottawa
To other
and
countries, right, John?
other countries, Jamaica. Yeah, but all of these places, they're all changing towards cannabis, and we're all seeing it. And really, I think between 2018 and 2020, the world is definitely going to be a better place to live in.
Yeah. And I know that we're going to be able to do a lot more stuff. Like, I keep thinking of what we did in 2017, and it was big. There was more. We even had a Supreme Court constitutional challenge that we just supported, paid for, and intervened in a Supreme Court case, and we're still awaiting the results on that one. But it was pretty interesting, and if you haven't seen any of that, you can check the footage out on pod.tv.
We won the College against we won that this year. We won that.
Did you see this alcohol case? Do you know about this?
No.
You don't even know about this? No. So we just intervened, Johnny, Cannabis Culture, and I believe, I can't remember how many hundred and whatever dispensaries we were intervening for.
Yeah.
But we intervened in this case, the Como case, where a guy was coming across the border with like a provincial border with alcohol in his car, and the cops did a like sting on him and busted him with just a bit too many tins of liquor or whatever, and so like he had beer, and so he challenged it, and he challenged it on the basis that in the Canadian Constitution, it says that you can't have any impediments to interprovincial trade. So that includes things like an alcohol monopoly that by the government. And so this whole monopoly that's existed in all the provinces for so many years,
I did hear about
including
this.
in Ontario, the crazy LCBO stores. Here in British Columbia, we had our government liquor stores for years. Well, all that is likely to have been not constitutional. And so and our lawyers, of course, argue that it was not constitutional. And it's all the way in the Supreme Court. And that's why we intervened in it. And this is some of the stuff that Mark pays for with his money, by the way.
Yeah, he's
so when-
always
when
fighting
people are
for the good fight.
criticizing Mark and Jody or whatever. It's like, this is the kind of stuff that we do. It's not cheap to intervene in a Supreme Court case. So, yeah, and it's an interesting thing because if we do win, that could help overturn the government monopolies that are happening right now, including ones for cannabis. So we tried to
It'll be several months
widen
though
the
before they
scope.
render their decision.
Will be a while, yeah.
For cannabis, the government's already gave provinces the right for distribution. So
Well, it challenges that as well. So that we're challenging it on that basis, that it's not constitutional, that there shouldn't be any
they
impediments
deal
to trade.
with healthcare, and they consider cannabis as a medical, even though making it recreational. So I even take a look at that.
Alcohol is not considered health care.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, alcohol is
Thank
not.
you very much.
Yeah. So the whole thing's a fucking joke. And these guys, didn't we learn? I keep saying this. I thought we learned like 100 and whatever years ago, and they always told us in school that monopolies are bad. That's what we have laws against monopolies. And so why is it all of a sudden good when the government does it? Well, they try to say it's like either for an essential service, which makes sense in the case of like the bus or some other thing, you know. Like, but look we don't even really have government monopolies for all the things we did previously. Like Petro-Canada used to be our oil monopoly, or Air Canada used to be our airline monopoly. These are all now private companies.
I think the government is setting up a trap for themselves where they're going to be able to be charged down the road with racketeering and colluding to discriminate against this culture of ours, and all the harms that they've done are going to come to light. We're in transition right now, and they're trying real hard to continue the reefer madness and the fears about public safety and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's a lot to do with trying to deflect from the actual truth that they have kept a very viable medicine, a natural medicine, away from people. They have harmed so many people with these prohibitions and the attempt to prohibit over the years. I don't think they should get away with that. I think that that's in their agenda, is to try to get away with that. And I think that they know that they're culpable and criminal when the truth comes out, that cannabis cures many cancers, that cannabis helps people sleep, that cannabis is a supplement to our endocannabinoid system. It's a violence suppressor. It's a whole bunch of beneficial things to individuals and society that has been kept from us at our own cost of our tax dollars and at great cost to the social fabric of our society. And these people should be held responsible for that. And I think that that's coming down the road as we get through this transition period and the truth really comes out and the media really starts to get onto just how big a story this is. That trillions of dollars later and millions of ruined lives later, now they're finally going to say, oh, well, actually cannabis is a great thing and we're all invested in it and we're going to sell it to you now and make a bunch of money on it. And hey, you should really buy it off us because it's a great commodity and you should have it. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
You don't have stocks in any of these companies?
I don't have stocks in any companies. No, not at all.
There's a lot of people in the cannabis industry who do have stocks in
It's
these
probably
companies.
a wise thing to invest in. Cannabis
of
is the
people
future.
that are activists,
I like
too.
that comment that's
I would
come out a few
not.
times.
I just couldn't bring myself to getting stock in
I
cannabis
don't have
growth.
any stocks
I would
in
rather
any LPs.
shoot myself
know,
in the
eh?
fucking head.
I got
I'm
stocks,
sorry,
but
but
The comment that I like that's come out a few times is that if you don't like marijuana, you're not going to like the future very much. Because
Yeah.
it's going to be all
Well,
over
and
everywhere as it should be.
here's the thing. I don't even have anything against individual companies who want to get involved in marijuana, and I got nothing against the LPs necessarily individual or like as a concept, but it's just because this first round of LPs that we had, one, we're producing poor quality cannabis and putting it on the market. Two, we're doing it with a gun to everybody's head because nobody else was allowed to do it, and did not challenge that, did not come forward and say, look, we think, though we're an LP, we still think it should be legal for everybody to
They did the
become
opposite.
LPs.
They lobbied to have their competition shut
Exactly.
down.
Yes.
So that's despicable.
It is
And you
despicable.
can't support people
No,
with
that's
groups
why
that do
I
that.
would never support Canopy Growth, because they were part of all that, or they were the ringleaders of it. So maybe there's different people, and who knows, companies, these corporations are soulless entities, you know, a lot of times, not cannabis culture, but some of them are, where they have a board of directors and it's all like, you know, their humanity isn't really involved in it.
it's about the
Profits over
shareholders.
patience.
It's
Right.
about the shareholders.
Yeah.
So I don't
So,
think
yeah,
you-
hopefully the
I just
future
don't
is a
know
bunch
why
of
you have
licensed
to do
people that are
business like
good
that.
people.
You don't have to do business like that. Like,
Yeah,
we have a
exactly.
corporation. This cannabis culture is a corporation.
It's good to do business when you really care
But
about the patient.
guess
and the
what?
customer.
It's like, you know, the shareholders make some decisions based on their humanity, and it's me making these decisions, and other people, you know, that have a conscience and care. So I don't understand
And if
why
it's proper,
so-
you know, the rest of the world will partake of your services and not those soulless people's services. And that's why I'm saying it's not good for business to be a soulless corporation in the first place. Greed really doesn't pay off in the long run if you're in it for the long run.
No, it's disastrous. But I do think, you know, I was saying before that business has kind of a bad name a lot of times, and everybody treats all businesses the same as if they're all bad corporations and things
I
like
think
that.
you mean
And
corporations.
that's not necessarily
I
true
don't-
either.
Not
right?
businesses, but I think corporations have a bad name.
Right.
And,
Oh, friend for the rain.
And I hope that
quite nice, actually.
corporations in the future work to change that by actually recognizing what the needs of their clients are and
Yeah.
not worrying so much about the needs of their shareholders. But who knows?
Right.
And
to
we're
that
supposed to
end-
have government to try to make sure that there's not at least abuses with respect to what corporations do.
Yeah.
And that's really more the role of public servants than to be regulating what individual people do as sovereign beings, unless we're actually hurting somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to run. I thank you for having me on your show today, Jeremiah. It's been an awesome year.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everybody out there, and great work, Cannabis Culture. I really appreciate being able to be part of the effort that's got us to where we are now. And I look forward to a real good year coming up. So
Yeah. Awesome, Neil.
legalization year finally here. We'll see
And-
what that means.
On that note, though, we were talking about companies and corporations and stuff. Something interesting was brought to my attention about a advent calendar that we were selling at Cannabis Culture. That I didn't actually. It was brought up on Carly's show on Monday. We sold several of those advent calendars this year. They're all over the place. We sold some that were full of weed that had amazing, little jars of weed in them. They were totally awesome. Countdown to Christmas with your advent
know you
calendar
had
full
any
of
of
weed.
those.
But we did have another one that we didn't. Apparently, the store staff purchased some of these calendars without actually checking what was in them, or they asked what was in them, and the person sold them to us from a company that we trust. That and said, oh yeah, there's like $450 worth of stuff in these things, and said there's shatter and weed and other things. So we thought that they were decent, but apparently even our staff and other people have been opening them, and some of them are like matches in the things. 2 days in a row it was matches. There's been like 2 lanyards, or necklaces for lanyards. So just a bunch of not good stuff. So I just wanted to say, if somebody got one of these advent calendars and wants to bring it back and get their money in a store credit, or if they really want their money back, I'd be happy to give it to them, because I think that's pretty lame.
Pretty lame. I bought one.
So you did?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I didn't see it myself, and so I mean, hey, if
do
you're
the stabs.
happy
Go,
with it,
good
maybe
call.
you're happy with it.
Go.
Maybe some are better than others.
Trying to get this guy high. Trying to give him a dab. Oh, of course you can. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, but I wasn't pleased when I heard about that we were actually selling those, and people were getting matches and shit in them. That's lame, and especially if you paid a chunk of cash for it. So, nope.
How much
Come
were
back
they?
and
So don't complain to the rest of the world. Complain to you, and you'll
bring
get,
them back.
get a
and-
replacement.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that people are taken care of. So.
Did you like that, John? Is that tasty? What I gave you there?
I'm going to do it right now.
Oh, you haven't done any yet.
No, I haven't done it yet.
Oh, I see.
Wow, that was nice. So, feeling pretty high here. I did have some video on my phone that I wasn't able to get onto the computer.
You know what? It's Christmas Eve almost.
I know. Maybe we'll play it on
We should
next
wish
week's show.
everybody a Merry Christmas.
But it was about last night. Last night we had a fantastic show. It was called The Kickdown, put on by Pot TV's Al the Alchemist.
Nice.
And it was a pretty damn dope show. And Sean Mack, what's that? Where was that? It was at Fortune Sound Club. Yeah, and it was like a dope hip hop show. There was a lot of people involved, including our homie Creed, who did an awesome job and actually runs our 420 music. Amazing hip hop artist. He was involved and did a set, and Daz Dillinger was the act who closed it down, the main feature. Totally awesome. If you know hip hop, you know Daz is from the Dog Pound. Goes back to like 92 on Dre's The Chronic, and he did a bunch of old stuff. It was dope. Daz is one of my favorites. He's an underrated rapper in, I think, a huge way. He was instrumental in writing the tracks for the album Doggy Style. Dre got all the credit for producing that whole album, but I think Daz actually produced a heck of a lot of that album before Dre even got his hands on it, and Dre put his Dre love into it. But but yeah. So anyways, there you go. There's some hip hop nerdiness, but the show was dope. And I'll play the videos on one of my next shows. But he talked about weed all night. They were puffing. We were smoking weed in the Fortune Sound Club. I got videos of like girls lighting joints right in front of the stage while he's rapping in the background. So we'll play those. I'm sorry I don't have them off the camera.
Jesus.
And my phone died. So
Well, you know
we're
what?
really
Maybe
screwed.
next year we can do a show next week before.
Next week? What?
Doing a show before New Year's.
Oh, probably.
Okay.
Wait, what day is it next week? Oh, I might still be on the island though.
Yeah.
I'm going to the island to hang with my parents for the
I'm
holidays.
gonna go to the island too, probably on Friday next week. Get a haircut.
Where are you going?
Just head over to the island, spend a night.
Where on the island though? Johnny?
Victoria.
Oh, nice, beautiful place.
yeah.
I'm going to Nanaimo, where I was.
I
born.
know where you go.
Yeah.
I like Nanaimo. You should
for
stop by
the
Tricone City and go say hi to
at-home
the guys up
audience.
there.
Let's go to what?
Tricone City, it's in Nanaimo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got some fucking good gear up there.
I tried to find it last time I was there, and I couldn't. Oh, Neil.
Mic drop.
Neil's smashing things.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Into
Neil,
into
shitty.
2017.
Yeah.
And Neil's out of here. Smash.
And away.
Thanks, Neil. As
And
always, we
Miranda's
love
there
seeing
now.
you.
Yeah. Miranda's also from Nanaimo. Well, she's from Royston.
I'm from
I was
Royston.
born
Royston's not even a
in, like,
place. Come
Niagara
on.
Falls or
Royston
something
is a
like
place.
It
Or you're from
is.
Cumberland.
I'm from Royston.
Oh, you're from Royston.
I'm from Royston. I went to school in Cumberland
Okay,
and
that's
also
nice.
in Courtenay and was born in Comox. So that's basically the whole valley right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
But
walk
you're an
around
island
the
girl.
lounge here at Cannabis Culture. I'm gonna go to the store downstairs, and I'm just gonna randomly see people.
Johnny Claus.
And I have been. I mean, people laugh at me. I'm like, hey, what's in the bag? I'm like, you smoke weed? Like, yeah, well, here, let me give you some humidity packs. I give them some Medex or some Bovida. And then someone that really needs it, I've been giving
Neil
a
wants a
lot of
humidity
people,
pack.
Neil, a lot of homeless people, stuff like that, these grinders because they're sitting and they love them. If they're sitting at the intersection panhandling, I give them maintainers.
That's cool.
Lineup of what 150 people tomorrow outside of Andu.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah, because they're probably spending some of that money they make on weed. You'd think, if they were smart. That's what I'd be spending mine on.
So can I tell you guys my one Christmas joke just because we're
Yes.
being Santa right now?
Yes.
I don't have 100 things.
Christmas joke.
I'm like, I want to dig in and give you some stuff, but this is kind of like.
Whatever you want to donate would be much happy.
What's the Christmas joke,
Oh, the Christmas
Miranda?
joke? It's not a very good Christmas joke, but it's my only one. Why does Santa have a big red sack?
Uh-oh.
Because he only comes once a year.
Oh.
Sorry, guys,
Filthy. But that's
but
nice.
it was on topic, so
It was very on topic.
there you go.
I like it.
I'm gonna give.
You're always good
Give
for a
him a
dirty
bunch of
joke. We should have a Miranda's dirty joke segment on the show.
No. What we actually need to do is get together the Jeremiah Talks Hip Hop History podcast.
What is Neil breaking now?
I don't know.
Nothing broke.
Merry Christmas, guys. Smash.
Neil's like Mr. Magoo or something. He's like, pardon me, ma'am. And he bumps into the bong. Yeah. What was your idea, though?
Here,
Oh,
Neil,
you're-
just put these in your bag. It's not that many.
What, he's got so many. What are you doing with those? That's a lot of humidity packs.
Cool.
What are you doing with those, Neil? Oh, that's for your substitution project? Oh, nice.
You can put one in. You can
Right.
take out, like, there's 2 in every one there, and there's some Medex in there and stuff like that. Just a handful there and whatever.
That's awesome.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. What was that again?
Because you know what? If it's gonna be medicine, these guys gotta have fresh cannabis. Sorry, I'm shutting up.
Jesus Christ.
I really love how professional you guys are on this show. It's like it's amazing.
I got no filter.
You stop.
I was saying they need to have the Jeremiah History of Hip Hop podcast.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Just drop a little knowledge. Half an hour segments. Come on, people. You would listen to this. And then you
I
can play
know.
clips of songs because
I
it's
do
an
know
audio
a lot of hip-hop
medium.
history. Like a
Every
mad
time I
amount.
hang out with you, it's a whole history lesson.
Yeah.
Like literally every time.
I really do like hip hop, and I've been obsessed with it since I was probably about 11. So,
Really?
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with heavy metal.
I was also obsessed with. I liked heavy metal a lot too.
I love my heavy metal.
Classic rock, I think.
I play heavy
I
metal
really
on my
liked
guitar, on
David
my
Bowie and the
Gibson
Beatles,
Explorer. So, yeah, I have a white Gibson Explorer, 1984, like Hetfield himself. So yes, I like metal. Metal's dope. Sabbath.
Rock on.
Yeah.
So what else do you do on this show? What do you talk about? Is this pretty much it?
Well, I thought we need to have a Miranda segment on every show.
yeah.
We're trying to
Oh, we
figure that
do.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Right.
you could do the hip hop segment.
Normally we do news. It's Cannabis Culture News Live.
It is supposed to be news.
It's supposed to be, but you know what? We'd be really locking on the news.
No, there is some news to get
know.
to.
We've talked about all the current things.
We do talk about the
Okay.
current news, but with this show's been a little bit rambly for the past hour and 42 minutes.
Well, it is Christmas.
And it is about weed.
420.
It
It's 42 in there somewhere.
Yes, Michael Knight wants to play the Cheers theme when I go into history. Because I think Michael must have been the person on Carly's show who was calling me Cliff Clavin.
Yes.
Which is
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
Which I thought was so good. And I've been watching Cheers lately. I love Cheers. I really, really love Cheers a lot. And it's just such a great place. I want to hang out there. I want to hang out at that bar.
You want to be somewhere where everyone knows your name.
I do.
You do actually work in a place where everyone knows your name, right?
That is true. I do.
Bye, Neil.
You're absolutely. Bye, Neil.
Yeah.
You're right, though. And I feel like our Davie Street location, with the long bar and everything, that's kind of like our Cheers.
Okay.
I feel
Me too.
like that's
Merry
my
Christmas.
Cheers. But
Give
yes,
Jared too many maintainers.
the point is that I know Cliff Clavin inside and out these days. He's hilarious. And maybe I am trying to be a bit. I'm turning into Cliff Clavin.
Well, here's
I need
some
a male-
here's some John Ratzenberger trivia.
Oh.
It's who played Cliff Clavin. He's been in
Yes.
every single Pixar movie.
I know
Every
that.
single one. So
about
there's
that.
your John Ratzenberger trivia.
That's
That's
pretty amazing.
actually what I do is trivia most of the time. So maybe I'll just bring you,
You know-
trivia every week.
Here's some more John Ratzenberger trivia. He was in Star Wars.
He was. He had a
was in
very
Star Wars.
like he was a pilot.
He was a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I can't remember the name of the character now, but he talks to Han in Empire Strikes Back right at the beginning, and he's like, "It's whatever below out there." He's like, "You'll freeze before you get to the first whatever point," and he's like, "Well, then He's like, "I can't leave him out there for whatever," and he's like, "If you go, you'll freeze." He's like, "Well, I'll see you in hell," and then he goes. That's a great Han moment.
That's pretty. Yeah.
see
Yeah.
you
Sounds like Han.
Yeah. More John Ratzenberger trivia. He was in the Boston Pizza commercials. Remember that? Because
Not
he's-
really.
because he plays a Bostonian with his hilarious accent. Nami. That's how he says Norm.
I don't remember these at all. I do
Yeah.
apologize.
So yeah, he's like, doing that Boston accent. And he's in the Boston Pizza commercials playing Cliff usually. His Cliff character.
Of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, there we go. There's our
There's-
Cliff Clavin trivia.
that was
See?
a lot of-
We were
yeah.
doing some Cliff.
Yeah?
We were being Cliff
Okay.
Clavin there.
Yeah.
Did you know
I'm doing
that?
parking right now.
You're doing parking right now?
Oh shit!
I know,
I
Jared.
forgot.
yeah, you
about
need to do your
Oh,
parking.
son of a bitch! And since oh no, my phone is dead.
Your phone is dead.
Damn.
You don't have
Well,
a charge
no parking,
cable.
no phone.
We might
Cars.
have to wrap this show up because I gotta go do my parking. You guys
Right.
are gonna have to produce the show. Can you click the
Well,
buttons?
we could do that. What do we have to do?
click these buttons back and
Click
forth.
those buttons back and forth? Well, I could just come and sit in your seat.
You could host the show.
I could totally host
see-
it, but I don't really have anything to tell
Or
you.
you could go do my parking for
I
me.
could do your parking.
Well,
I just
pretty
parked
much.
on
What
Hamilton.
there hasn't been too much in the news for cannabis in the sense we have another event coming
There
up in
has
2018.
been. There's been a lot of
There's
stuff
been a
going
lot
on.
of good stuff. in
The
a sense.
provinces have been releasing info. I wanted to play some videos that I had backlogged from last week.
Yeah, I've been hearing tons of advertising on the radio for liquor control, for the liquor control board to be able to basically distribute cannabis. I've been talking to the guy at the liquor store, and he's like, they're in meetings about it, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
he's like, well, we're set up for it, and now they're brainwashing everybody in there, right? So I think it's going to be hard to have patients go into a liquor store to buy their cannabis.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't want to be in there, but
Okay, so here's the thing that I wonder about legalization of cannabis. It's not like it's gonna change things that much. There's all the people who smoke pot are smoking pot already, right? Like we all know where to get our
access
weed,
for everybody.
right? But
No more
the people,
being prosecuted.
but just because weed is legalized, it's not going to create this huge consumer demand that isn't already there. You know what I mean? Like it's not
No,
going to create a whole.
We have definitely seen
Agreed.
an increase in demand since we've had licensed producers. We've seen a more increase
Well-
in the system over the last 5 years from when there used to be like 2,000.
But that's
producers
because
licensed
more
to
people
now when
know
there's
about
80,
cannabis,
90.
though.
Right.
And at
Right.
that
But
point,
what
that's
I'm
more
saying
access.
is
So it-
that we're not all going to just start. It's
Right.
not like everybody's like, oh, it's legal now. Let's go get it.
The fact of the matter is, there are
People lined up
There are
in
literally
Colorado when it went
millions of
legal.
people.
Lined up around the corners. Lined
But
up.
wait.
and I get
around
that,
the
but those
corners.
people were already weed consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
and
both
they lined
right.
up because they could buy it legally. And
Yeah.
that's- for
You're
them,
both
it's
kind of
best thing in
saying the
world.
same thing, actually, though, ultimately. The fact is that there's already millions of people who smoke cannabis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just because they make things legal, those millions already existed.
Exactly.
So whether or not we add a few, we will add a few because it probably, once there's dispensaries everywhere, that's already happening here in Vancouver, for instance, where you see them. So people are like, hey, I could get pot. Where maybe they didn't have access to it because not everybody has a dealer.
For sure, but you're not going to go from like say 10% of people who
Right.
smoke pot, say the population, to like 80. It's going to be a small increase, but it's not
Yes.
going to be millions and millions.
No, it's not going to like double or triple the amount.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe over time.
Over time,
But
hopefully
that's-
over time,
hopefully,
yes.
And
but
get them off
like
things
right
like
away, like cannabis day legalization isn't going to be this huge free for all.
Right. And what you see is that people consume less alcohol
Yes.
when they have access to cannabis. So it actually has an effect on car fatalities.
Yep.
And they can measure the effect on fatalities. Places where they have dispensaries and a lot of access to cannabis, they have less fatalities by cars because there's less drunk drivers. That's all across the United States. That's a statistic. You can find it. It's in lots of literature on cannabis culture.
So I actually have a news report that relates directly to that. Well, sort of. Health Canada survey came out this week, and 39% of the people who responded said that they had smoked or would smoke pot and then drive within 2 hours of getting high. So that's 40% of self-identified pot smokers who also drive. They admit that they have smoked pot before they've gotten behind the wheel. Yeah.
There you go.
So how do you feel about that?
Well, I've never actually got behind the wheel without smoking pot.
Ever?
I don't know if I really have. I'm not sure I've ever driven without smoking weed.
Fair
And that's because I smoke weed all day long.
Right.
From the time I get up, from the time I go to bed. So I'm always high. So I've never.
You have
and I've
your
driven since
cannabis
I've been 16. I started smoking weed when I was 15. So, do the math. If I smoke weed every day,
I gotta pee.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's been a few times where I was like, didn't have a toke that day. But for the most part, yeah. What I'm trying to say is that
So you're
I function
constantly feeding your
completely perfectly
endocannabinoids.
being high. If I was really
Oh,
extremely
you think you're
fucked
high?
up
I've seen
on-
you fucked up, but
Yeah, if
you're
I was,
normally you're
taking
just
edibles,
medicating.
I
You're
wouldn't
just
be driving. If I eat
Yeah,
edibles,
you
I will
can't.
not
You
drive.
can't do the edible thing.
No, I can't eat edibles because I'll just pass out, and I will literally fall asleep standing up. So there's no way to drive when you're like that. Like even right now, I'm pretty. Like we've been dabbing a lot. Look at my eyes. Like hilarious. I'm extremely high right now, so I wouldn't even be that willing. If I went out and had
go
an iced
eat,
tea or something, I'd probably be
have
ready to
some
roll.
munchies.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee.
But here, I also have a news story. Now, I thought this was funny. I mean, it's kind of sad, but I liked what these people who got busted with
cops
weed.
told cops
I
60
liked their
pounds of
response.
marijuana.
This is on Fox News,
Oh,
so you
that's
know
all.
it's true. You know it's fair and balanced. Elderly couple told cops 60 pounds of marijuana was for Christmas presents. Nebraska officers arrested a couple in their 80s after finding 60 pounds of marijuana in their truck during a traffic stop, according to the York County Sheriff's Department. Deputies pulled over 80-year-old, well, we won't say their names, but this couple.
83-year-old.
And after,
80 and 83-year-old.
Right, and noticed the couple's vehicle crossing the center line, I guess. Maybe they had too many dabs. And a strong smell of marijuana wafted from the Toyota Tacoma that they were cruising in. And with the help of a police dog, they found the equivalent, or found the roughly $330,000 worth of pot. And they were questioned. The couple told deputies they were headed to Vermont and the marijuana was for Christmas presents.
That's a pretty good Christmas present.
Well, yeah.
Well, they had
got
lots
a big
of people.
family.
A lot of
Right?
people. And you know
Weed
what?
ain't cheap, man.
Uncle Dave, he needed at least 4 or 5 pounds because he had glaucoma, and
Yeah.
Aunt Mavis had severe arthritis. So
Exactly.
we ran her 15 pounds. She
Yes.
was making a salve out of it. They could have talked it up.
I
They had to
heard
dry sift that shit.
in this report,
clean
in
it
this
up,
article here,
swishing it. I mean, really, in reality, there's only about a pound worth of resin there. Come on, let's really talk
strangely,
about
in
that.
another Fox News article that I read earlier, not this one, that was about the same thing, it mentioned that they also had extracts, like THC extracts on them. So they had, some shatter too. It gets expensive by the gram.
We've been going for 2 hours. We're doing a short one.
I know, we should wrap it up. But I was just going to say, we know, the cops make up prices, though. So, they're saying they had $330,000 worth of stuff. That's probably
How many pounds?
bullshit.
60 pounds.
Yeah.
6 times 3 is 180 grand.
Right, exactly.
Let's just ballpark it, right?
Right.
3,000 a pound,
right.
give or take. So we're gonna shoot high.
3,000.
Come on, it's the U.S.
Come on.
Okay, 2,000.
Well, maybe
a pound
for the
too.
U.S. You're right.
Exactly.
All right.
Let's go.
okay.
Let's say 120,000.
Jeez,
Low
that's
ball it.
expensive, though.
Probably pretty swaggy. They're 80 years old. They probably weren't going to kill her. You know what I mean? Like in reality, so $2,000 a pound. So $120,000.
There you go.
There you go.
Cops
So
are
we
so
just
full of
just
shit.
price that shit up for you. So no, we don't know the prices of weed in the world.
Yeah. Well, I know we were 2 hours in, and we didn't really do too much Christmassy stuff, but
Merry Christmas.
It was a fun show.
Happy
we just got
holidays.
high all show and
Happy
it was fun.
Hanukkah.
Yes, happy all holidays, not
holidays.
just Christmas.
Just
And it was
days of the
Christmas. It was summer solstice yesterday.
It was.
Yeah.
First day of
Summer
summer
solstice. It
solstice.
happened right in the
Longest,
middle of
shortest day of the
winter.
year.
Yeah,
It just means it
You know what
gets
I did
better
yesterday?
from here
I
on out,
transplanted
right?
all my
Right?
plants on the winter
I think it
solstice.
does. Yeah,
I think it does.
That's what it means.
Yes, solstice
That's
makes
kind
me
of what
happy.
those crazy pagans had in mind.
Yeah. All the days from here will get longer and longer, so
It's changing
things
of
are
the
better.
season.
It's
Yeah.
better.
See, back in the
100%.
day,
This is get rid of the old and welcome in the new. So this is when you would do your banishing and get rid of all of your.
when you
I
back in the
banished
day when we
thee.
were cave-like folk and lived under the raw elements, it was harder to live in the nighttime, and so it took its toll when things were, dark all the time. And the wild animals were out there, and they would eat you alive at night. And so the night is a scary place for our former ancestors.
It
Or
also makes us
not former,
sad.
but our ancestors. What are you doing with that?
The
It
merging
also
of
makes us sad.
It makes us sad. Seasonal affectiveness disorder. This is a real thing.
You're
If you don't get enough daylight, then you get sad.
Exactly.
And they make little lights that you can put in your house, and you can sit under them like a lizard or an iguana.
And then the
Or
wolves
is an
will get
iguana
ya.
a lizard? Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're depressed,
Yes.
and you can't run as fast for whatever. Oh, John, don't do that anymore. What are you doing?
They're just
I
they're
was
spilling
trying.
dab water
doing
all over the
that.
table.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Well, you know what? It's just this down stem is just full of resin all the
Splashing
time.
bong water all over me, man.
Raised in a barn?
Yeah,
But
actually,
last
that
time
was-
you put that in a bottle on the table, and I drank it.
Oh.
Yeah, and it tasted. I was like, that's
That's
not-
why I didn't put it in the bottle all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, last time I put it in the bottle, so you
That
know
was my
maybe
bottle.
I know. It's like, well, it was
Yeah.
empty.
I didn't know it was empty. When I looked at it, it still had water in it.
Oh, I'll clean it up.
That's because the.
Thanks, you guys.
But yes, fun show. We always love. This actually is the best part of my week, and I swear to God, I love doing the show so much.
Me
every
too.
week. It's just fun.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
maybe.
you should try to show up once in a while.
What? I was busy for a few months.
Just
We
teasing
tried like
ya.
Skyping, and I've been doing.
I know
quite
Mr.
well
Cookie is filling in for you when you're not around anymore. He's my
is he?
like. He is in
Toronto?
Ontario with his family.
Family.
Yeah.
Brian,
Mr. Cookie, man,
Great
if
to
you're
see you,
out
buddy.
there, we love you.
love you, Brian. I brought you some treats. That's what I brought you. I brought you all these little. Things.
Nice, those are cool. And Miranda,
Hello.
So you get to pick a set.
pick a what?
Pick a set
Pick a set for what? For me?
for your Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
You
I like
get a
the pickle.
present,
I like
and
the
you
pickle
get a
one.
You like the
present.
pickle? Then you get the
I
whole
like the
set.
pickle one. You get. It comes with 3 of them.
It's a set.
Oh, okay.
It's your Christmas
Well,
present.
there you go. Thanks, Johnny.
Merry Christmas.
I got myself a pickle. This is. I love medtainers, John.
I know you do. That's why I gave it to you. They said, I'm Pickle Rick, and it's got the pickle slime on the side and like that.
See, I loved medtainers before.
Then it's got the pickle toker poker,
You were when me and you.
and then he's
before-
got the pickle.
I can't remember. Were you on the show before medtainers or?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were were you my co-host before medtainers?
Hi.
Or were
done.
medtainers? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
I've been on and off of this
I
pod
remember
TV things.
seeing medtainers and liking
Shit.
them and loving them, and that was before you even probably became the Canadian distributor of them, or was it maybe you
I
were
was
the
a
one who
Canadian
showed me?
distributor right from the get go.
Were you? Okay, so you showed me. You're the one who showed me the
I
medtainer.
brought these. I
Yeah.
brought these to
Okay.
the show one day and handed you one.
I just remember thinking as soon as I had them, like, damn, I just like, and
I love 'em.
People think I'm shilling for the product or that I'm like making some
Can't just
sort of
love
profits
them. They
from
just
it.
work. People
I
like 'em.
actually think they're
Everybody
the
likes
best
'em.
grinder out there.
They
You know,
work.
they are made of plastic. I always say that, so you know,
Poly-5 medical grade plastic.
you know, it's one of,
So it's medical grade.
yeah, it's medical grade, and it seems to work.
Made
They
in the
don't-
US.
They don't get gummed up that quickly. Like the grinders,
Add a little olive
the
oil.
metal grinders, they are fucking.
You can throw
brutal,
that thing in
man.
the water and boil it.
There you go. I'm gonna do that. as
Clean it
soon
with
as
a
I
little
get
bit
home.
of ISO.
So there you go. Christmas presents. I'm giving you guys stocking stuffer ideas
There you go.
for the stoner on your list. Yeah. Have you done all your Christmas shopping yet? You have your.
Started last year.
You have a wife to deal with.
Hi, honey.
She's here.
Yeah.
She wants her. I'm sure she's gonna. Have
She's
a-
like, "What's wrong?"
She better
We gotta
get
go.
spoiled
We're going
this
for dinner. We're gonna go
holiday.
check out some. We're gonna go to the Capilano Light Bridge probably. And
Oh,
We'll be
nice.
doing the light thing and checking out all the lights. And I got a pretty sick
I've
little
heard
light thing
about
going
that.
on. I did the house up.
Yeah. I'm really high now, so we should wrap this show up. We love you, Pod TV. Miranda, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Fun to have you here.
No problem at all.
Like I'm saying, we got to think of a segment.
I told you, Miranda's Trivia Corner.
Oh, Trivia
Trivia's what I
Corner.
do.
Do it on
Except it's
Tuesday.
like really useless trivia. It's not
It's
like
got to be.
pot related.
It's got to have some sort of weed related.
Yeah, okay. I'll go look up a bunch of cannabis trivia.
Cannabis. It's got to be. That's fun. See, there you go.
Yeah.
And you're an expert actually at trivia. You have experience in this realm.
I do. I used to host a couple of trivia nights, and I used to write trivia quizzes. So
Is that because you're a big nerd?
it is because I am a gigantic flaming nerd. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
I don't know what the nerdiest thing about me is, but trivia is definitely up there.
There's some nerdy things about you.
Yeah.
I can think of a few nerdy stories about you.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys were finished for the night. Thanks, Pot TV.
You wanna
This has
go
been
into those
great.
right now?
Thanks for having
I
me.
think we could extend the show for.
You have
Just
parking
joking.
to do.
I'm just teasing.
We have parking. That's it.
Well, we love you, Pod
I have
TV.
Christmas. I
And
have
yes,
hash
have a
to make.
happy holidays.
Make some hash. Enjoy your holidays.
And watch all the fun on Pod TV. There's going to be more holiday stuff happening. I'm not sure if there's a Christmas Day broadcast. Sometimes Marijuana Man does a broadcast.
That's cool.
So what day is Christmas? I don't have my calendar in front of me.
Monday.
It's Monday.
It's a Monday. So maybe Carly's doing a Christmas show. I don't think so. She's
Isn't she in Ottawa?
She's in Ottawa, yes. So I doubt, but yeah, don't quote me on it because there might be a Carly show. I wouldn't want to say there's not one and then she does.
Well,
a
we just
show,
did
so-
one
Yeah, we did one. Yeah, she
right
did a
now.
Christmas show.
That was another.
Oh, this was our this was a fun
Carly show.
CCHQ,
Yeah.
or I mean CCN Christmas show. Getting my CCs confused. I had fun, and we'll be back again next Friday, hopefully, unless I'm stranded on some island somewhere. And yeah,
I'll just come down and do your show.
Happy
Miranda can do the
holidays,
show.
guys. Merry
Miranda
Christmas.
can host the show.
Have a great one. We'll see you before the new year. If not, see you next year, 2018.
Yeah.
Legal weed in Canada coming soon.
We love you. Oh, and I did hear about Craig X is doing a New Year's show. Yeah.
From his new studio.
Yeah, so I think we're
Yeah,
going
check that
to
shit
pop
out.
in for that over at Studio 710. Oh, and speaking of Daz at that event last night, I
We
didn't
can
get
never
into the
just
goodies. No, I know. You check out Craig's show from yesterday
Yes.
because everybody who was at all the rappers who came, the big long list of them were on the show getting interviewed by Craig, including Daz Dillinger. So you can see Daz interviewed by Craig on Expert Joints yesterday. I would be, bad if I didn't plug that. It was dope. Super awesome show last night. Shouts out to all those guys. We love you up here. Come back soon. And Peace Pod TVers, enjoy your holidays. Say bye, Johnny.
Bye, Johnny.
And say bye, Miranda.
Bye, Miranda.
There you are. Oh, and
Peace Pod
Miranda's mug. In the chat, they're like, where can we get Miranda's mug?
I found it in the office.
You can get it at cannabisculturehq.com.
Go online.
There you go. Or come down to the store and hit up our 50% off sale, and maybe it's one of the items on sale. I'm not sure. Up to 50% off. It's not 50% off everything.
4.2% off of
Yeah.
all
There's-
free Emery stuff.
I think there's at least, probably on a mug like that, it'd be more like 10%, but I don't know. Anyways, drug peace.
Peace.
See you soon, Pod TV.